Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
The following is a paid commercial message.
27 years in politics has changed Bob Casey. He's just not the same anymore. In Washington, Bob Casey voted to let biological men compete against our girls in their sports. And Casey introduced a bill to force hospitals to perform sex change operations against their beliefs. Letting men compete against our daughters? Forcing hospitals to perform sex changes? It's just not normal. But that's how liberal Casey is these days. Casey also voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits, too. Casey even voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Higher taxes on Social Security? Raising drug costs for seniors? Come on, Casey. It's just not right. Bob Casey's gone way too liberal for Pennsylvania. After 27 years, we need a change. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Hey everyone, good Friday. Welcome into the Dom Show. Boy, do we have a lot of great stuff today. Robert K. Haley, the pollster who predicted the Trump win. He's going to be with us at 12:30. That was a Trump win way back in 2016. The guy who owns Newsmax will be here. Talk about their election night coverage versus Fox, and other people may drop in as the show continues. By the way, Al Schmidt will be on the show on Monday. Want to start, though, jobs report, pretty anemic today, just a couple of hours ago. Only 12,000 jobs plus. Now, you know, this is not the major contention with the Biden administration. The major contention is he wanted to be FDR, LBJ. He spent money crazily. When you print money, it devalues the money that you and I have in our pockets, 401ks, etc. Everybody knows that. That's what they did. They can't get out of it. But we'll see how this jobs report plays out. But the two big things out there that have my attention, one, the garbage comments by Joe Biden, and they have more sting than some comedian that nobody knows at Madison Square Garden, because this is something that might reach, I'm looking at a great column today, the voters that Trump has been going after. These young men who are dissatisfied, they listen to Joe Rogan, they're dissatisfied with the government, the country, but getting them to vote is a chore. Will this be the final spring being called garbage because they do support Trump, but will they get out there and vote? That's the question hanging out there. The other is Mark Cuban. Oh, man, the gift that keeps on giving. We got a lot of sound today of a lot of strong, intelligent women, and even his apology missed the mark. Are they going to continue with this guy? He was supposed to be talking about tariffs, and he ends up attacking voters. Wall Street Journal today puts it well. Democrats trash talk the voters. You know, the smart Democrats, Josh Shapiro, people like that, clever versus the others. They know you don't trash talk voters. They might be your voters someday. And it's just bad form, bad policy to be going after voters in the manner that they have. And by the way, speaking of Josh Shapiro, isn't this another indictment? I'm glad, you're glad probably too if you're a Trump supporter, of what happened here. But Josh Shapiro is out there in all the closing Harris ads, all those ads. And he is using his signature phrase, get blank done. Well, he says stuff. And that Harris gets stuff done. Why Josh Shapiro? Why not in there with Walz? Doesn't Walz get stuff done? You know this was a disastrous choice. Let's make them pay for it. Let's win Pennsylvania. Now, Josh Shapiro was also on that Fox special. I think he was there just before Rich Cioli was yesterday. And he is out on the street. It may have been taped, this part of it, with Bret Baier. And Bret Baier talked about what went on in Bucks County. The shame of this, the ridiculousness of this that we have covered extensively. And Josh Shapiro said, well, the issue was resolved. A legal eligible voter could be counted in the election. He rejected voter interference, election fraud from J.D. Vance. He said that's just more blank from Vance. Our system is run by Republican and Democratic clerks of elections in our 67 counties. It's overseen by my Secretary of State, who's a Republican. Here we go again with this. I'll have Al Schmidt on Monday, as I said. Shapiro continued, I think everybody needs to take a deep breath and understand these are our fellow Pennsylvanians who are running these elections, and we will again have a free and fair, safe, and secure election. Well, Josh, why did you convene Homeland Security, police, military, and everybody else? Why did you did that about 6 months ago? Remember we talked about that extensively? And now all of a sudden, everything is fine. Everything's not fine with what happened in Bucks County. Those people were treated miserably. They were treated illegally. They were treated unconstitutionally. And we want to know from Al Schmidt and others, what are they going to do to prevent it from happening in the future? Because we're probably going to have this system for a while. By the way, don't forget, this nugget came up in conversations with Josh Shapiro, and that is that on election night at 12:01, that each county across Pennsylvania has to go up on the internet, on their website, and tell us how many absentee and mail-in ballots they received by 12:01. Now that will give us a sense of the universe that's still out there. We'll have to do some math, and we'll be doing it. We have big election night coverage. I know I'll be on around 8:15, 8:30 to about 11. And we'll be talking about, when we see that, what does that mean in? Remember what happened in 2020. I was on the air with Rich. Trump was ahead. They stopped counting the votes. Suddenly, when we come back, you know that. It looks bad. So this was the reform of the law. And I've asked Al Schmidt about it, and we'll try to get him on Monday when he's on at 12:30 to kind of re-emphasize that. That's what I'll be looking for. So Josh Shapiro calls this nonsense from J.D. Vance. The idea that what happened in Bucks, Delaware, and slightly maybe in Montgomery County, that was not shameful. Of course it was shameful. Of course it was ridiculous. Of course the judge said cease and desist. This is illegal. You can't do this to voters. They have every right to do this. Hey, by the way, on the good news front, and I see the pictures of some of our listeners with me and Jim Worthington. Daily Caller, national website, has a lot of coverage of the event we did the other day at the McDonald's up there on Street Road. And you'll see a picture in the front. I'm there interviewing people. Nice coverage. We hope that guy does well. One of the remaining questions out there in the election, the Inquirer here on the Dom Giordano show turns to their most esteemed, sober, I've had her on over the years, Trudy Rubin. Now, usually she does international affairs, Israel, Russia, Ukraine. She's their big gun. And she tackles the question. Well, she really doesn't even ask it. She just launches and says, Trump is a fascist, though many voters don't want to hear it. The MAGA leader wants to use the military to purify the country and arrest Democratic or Republican enemies within who criticize him. And she says, I'm avoiding the Hitler trap. I'm saying he's just your garden variety fascist. By the way, I'm not going to call anybody fascist, but is this the pristine Biden administration caught up in another scandal? AP now. This is the AP. Their sources say the White House altered the record of Biden's garbage remarks despite the stenographers' concerns. These are stenographers who are like, oh, I don't know, the National Archives. Remember that guy? Remember that stuff with Trump? And they're there through administrations. It's a civil service thing. You know what this is about. They tried to tell us, like Brendan Boyle, the guy from Northeast Philadelphia, the congressman. It was all about an apostrophe. We got to put that apostrophe in there. He was only talking about the comedian, making it singular. He wasn't saying all Trump supporters are garbage, just the comedian. It's all in the apostrophe. And the stenographer was having none of it, but they still went ahead and changed the official transcript. Now, on paper, technically, that is a violation. Who is it that the House is going to be investigating as soon as all this is over? And they ought to. Democrats do this and then get away with it all the time. It's clear. You can't alter that transcript. It's a matter of public record for obvious reasons. You're going to put apostrophes in all over the place now? All right, one final note. I'll give you the side question coming up to on the election. This from an outfit, Americans for Fair Treatment. These numbers, even though I thought I knew a lot about this, are mind-boggling. They're numbers during the election cycles of the NEA and the AFT, the teachers' unions. The NEA, with over 2.8 million members, allocates a considerable portion of its resources toward political action. Now, the most recent numbers that are out in 22-23 fiscal year, over $50 million was directed by political activists in the NEA. $50 million. The funding goes almost exclusively to left-wing candidates and organizations. So far, in the 2024 election cycle, ready for this? 98.96% of NEA's contributions have gone to Democrats, totaling $3,098,592. Republicans have received $32,599. That's kind of a rounding error, or 1.04% of the NEA's election spending. The AFT, remember Randy Weingarten? Remember how powerful she was in keeping those schools shut? Well, the AFT, the American Federation of Teachers, is even worse. They have 1.7 million members. During the 2022-2023 fiscal year, they spent $46.9 million on political activities. Like the NEA, they gave primarily to left-wing causes and candidates. So far in the 2024 election cycle, listen to this number, 99.90% of their contributions have gone to Democrats, totaling $2,556,843. How much have the Republicans gotten? The Republicans received just $2,523, or 0.10% of their election funding. 99.9%. Somebody probably got fired that Republicans got, what was it, $2,500 out of close to $47 million. It's amazing. We know where the battle is with them. We know what's going on. We saw it during COVID, and this is something that they wonder why people are antagonistic toward teachers' unions. By the way, Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, Stay away from downtown Philadelphia. They already started the construction yesterday. Big tie-ups at the Art Museum. I don't know. The stage, it looks to be unbelievable. She's doing her final event Monday night, pre-election, at the Art Museum. Back to Philadelphia again. Now, you know what happened in 2016. I don't believe in jinxes, but just saying, might be something you look at. Bon Jovi, Springsteen, the Obamas, the Clintons, right there at Independence Hall in downtown Philadelphia. How much trash will they leave on the Art Museum? I'll be able to see it the next day. I'll document it for you. I'll show you the trash that's left behind. Don't you think you're pushing the envelope coming to Philadelphia? Pretty close to the site where Hillary Clinton had this big thing and everybody thought the whole world she is a definite winner. Then she was dumped unceremoniously on election night. All right, we'll see how that plays out. By the way, too, I mentioned we're going to have great coverage on election night. Rich is going to be kind of a roving correspondent on this. We'll have Nick and Dawn. Then I'll be on around 8:15, 8:30 until about 11. And then we'll have Walter Sterling, keeping you going until we get a little bit more. I don't think we're going to know certainly on that night, but I think it's going to be sooner rather than later this year. I'd put the over and under that we're going to know pretty well sometime by my show, the noon show, on Thursday. I don't know. We could be announcing it between noon until 3 that something has been called at that point, so you might want to book that one. All right, side question today. This is a funny business. I've done a lot of great things. The opportunities you get just by being bonded here at Talk Radio 1210 are enormous. So our buddy Robin Schaefer, the Wales guy at the shore, has these really successful millionaires, and one's a billionaires from Scandinavia, coming to Philadelphia. Apparently they're touring the country about the election somehow or another. And my job tomorrow on a rooftop near a swimming pool in downtown Philadelphia is to take questions and to tell them what this election means. I've already asked Laura Trump, and I'm going to ask you for some help in this. You can hit me with anything you want to say on Twitter at DomShow1210. But the side question today comes off that, and we've never done this before. So I want you to hit me what you associate. It could be a person, could be a thing, a trend, living or dead, real or fictional, with Scandinavia. Scandinavia defined as Finland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and I guess we throw Iceland in, which is hot right now as far as a hot place to go. I'm going to take off the board, of course, the Vikings. You got to take off the Vikings. This is one of the all-time things that I think of when I think of Scandinavia, all right? There could be a million other things. We'll get Dan, we'll get Henry's, but we're leaving some for you. Get your name into the hat. We'll pull a winner today at the end of the show. Something associated with Scandinavia. All right, your call's coming up at 855-839-1210. In a little bit, we'll talk with Robert Cahaly, the guy who predicted the 2016 election for President Trump when no one else did. We'll also talk my buddy J.D. Mullane, Bucks County Courier-Times, brilliant piece on Levittown, which are all these moderate Democrats. Now, a lot of them are voting for Donald Trump. How many? What's the change out there in Bucks County? We'll see. And Dave McCormick, who's making a big push here at the end. We're right there. Could go either way with Bob Casey Jr. He'll be here at 2 o'clock today, and we'll break down the final event. He's having a big event over at the NAC in Bucks County with Jim Worthington on Saturday. We'll give you all the details. 855-839-1210. Grab a line. Hit me too, the end of your call. Something associated with Scandinavia. And can you imagine bringing Josh Shapiro out to do the final campaign? He's in all the ads, and you didn't choose him. This party is hateful. He couldn't be chosen, and she was afraid he'd upstage her too. But Josh Shapiro is not a moderate Democrat. Just remember that as we go forward. I think you already sense that and know that. And his defense of what went on in Bucks County on Fox News, even for Shapiro, is amazing. Big show today. Thank you for listening. Get on board here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Philo, 7 to 10 p.m.
To the PHT audience, welcome. It's a station that has such good relationships with its listeners. Listeners who are passionate about the country that we live in. Listeners who reside in the state that will decide this very next election. So I kind of feel like we were meant for each other. As people who care, as people who can converse honestly about issues, it's a big deal to get on a station that prioritizes these relationships with their listeners.
Jimmy Fela, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Rich Isioli. You know that Dr. Mike Veneri is my friend. He's my dentist. He's the master of dental implants. Did you also know that he hosts an annual Veterans Breakfast every year to thank our men and women who have served our country? And he also hosts a free community shredding event so you can shred all those confidential, sensitive documents so nobody hacks your identity and tracks you down. Saturday, November 9th, Veterans Day weekend. Your opportunity to come out, say hello to our veterans, thank them, get some coffee, cake, donuts, even breakfast pizza. Breakfast pizza, what's that? It's a real thing. And if you've been thinking about getting that beautiful smile you deserve, reach out to my buddy Dr. Mike Veneria. For 12 years, he's been recognized among his peers as a master of dental implants. He's a guy who cares, he gives back to our veterans and our community, and he's my entire family's dentist. You won't be disappointed. So come out on Saturday, November 9th for the Veterans event and free community shredding event. Go to veneriadental.com for more information. veneriadental.com. I'll see you Saturday, November 9th at his Cinnaminson office, veneriadental.com.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you have a chance to see Inside Story, 11:30 on Sunday, my monthly visit there. Election coverage, pretty good stuff today with Bob Brady, etc. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You got the side question on Scandinavia. Tomorrow, speaking to these people, thanks to our buddy Robert. What's the first thing that comes to mind, your association, real or fictional, alive or dead? Finland, Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. I took Vikings off. We'll get Dan's and Henry's a little bit later on. But also, I want to play you, Henry. Here is Josh Shapiro yesterday, to the point I just made. Shapiro on with Bret Baier. And Bret Baier pushes back a little bit on this whole issue of what happened out there in Bucks County, and it's dismissed. You know, you can't do this with Josh Shapiro. Henry, I don't see the cut here. I may not be looking at it right here. Do we have that from Fox yesterday?
Yeah, sorry, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Also, the story that's still raging today is Mark Cuban. The garbage thing is still in play, but the Mark Cuban stuff, his apology did not do a whole lot to move away from that. So that's going on, all right? So here is Bret Baier yesterday with Josh Shapiro.
Hold on. The Josh Shapiro cut I has him calling J.D. Vance's comment.
Yeah, that's on J.D. Vance, yes.
There is a concern about, just the other day, some lines that were shut down by, it looked like, Democratic operatives who stopped a line in Bucks County. They went to court. What's happening with that?
The issue was resolved, so a legal eligible voter could be counted in this election. Actually, I was pleased to see the Trump campaign acknowledge the work that myself and Secretary Schmidt are doing here in Pennsylvania.
The concern was that it was specifically being cut off. J.D. Vance put on X, this is illegal. Josh Shapiro should do something about these operatives in his own party depriving people of the right to vote. If he doesn't, it's complicit in voter fraud.
Yeah, that's just more bullshit from J.D. Vance. Remember, Brett, our system is run by Republican and Democratic clerks and elections in our 67 counties. It's overseen by my Secretary of State, Brett, who is a Republican. I think everybody needs to take a deep breath and understand that it is our fellow Pennsylvanians who are running these elections, and we will again have a free and fair, safe and secure election.
This guy is insufferable, is he not? So, yeah, Al Schmidt is a Republican. He'll be on the show 12:30 on Monday. We'll be talking about, again, issues that are still cropped up. You can hit me with some more. Let's face it, Al Schmidt, with all the antagonism back and forth with President Trump, come on. And again, I wish Bret Baier, he doesn't quite seem to be buttoned up there with detail to hold this guy's feet to the fire on what happened here in Bucks County. Now, here's a guy, Shapiro, as you know, that had that infamous conference with the Homeland Security, cops, FBI, everybody. Remember? Trying to chill people, tell them, you better watch out. We're not going to put up with any of your 2020 stuff this time around. And then we have these people out in Bucks County. As I told you yesterday, and I haven't seen it only in one place, the controller says they have about $2.9 million still in election funding or thereabouts, and they're not using it. They didn't use it. This was shameful, illegal, unconstitutional. Now, I did a show, an Inside Story, and everybody else that was on the panel agreed if you're voting there, then that's a polling place. Meaning, if you're in line before the deadline, 5 o'clock, that means you get to stay and vote. They have to accommodate that. That's what it's going to be on Tuesday. How many times do we have to go down this? So I don't know. Bret Baier left me a little bit unsatisfied there as far as attention to detail in getting at this whole issue of holding him to exactly what happened in Bucks County. Going back again on that. And Shapiro doesn't mind the profanities, of course. You know, he's just going to say that wherever he wants. He's Josh Shapiro. All right, as I said, the comments of Mark Cuban are still flying today. I think they'll go through another news cycle. The garbage columns are still, comments are still out there. We're going to see more of that. I'm looking at the big signs nationally. When you see how bad Biden is polling, when you see the level of lack of favorability, when you see the country on the wrong track, these are all clear signs that President Trump has a momentum. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to see a landslide or anything crazy. You have people saying crazy stuff. This is going to be very close. But I think by Thursday at noon or so, we'll know. Let's go to Susan in Chester Springs. Susan, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Susan, good afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, good afternoon. I love your show.
Thank you, Susan.
Well, it's always entertaining, and I always learn something, so that's good. My answer for the side question is IKEA.
You know what? That is I didn't even think about that one. That's right. So
you would have taken it off the board.
Yes, we'll put that in the Swedish column, right? Yeah.
Okay, so my brother, I already voted early. My brother came to Chester Springs. I mean, we're a tiny community, to our library. He was in line for over 2 hours. They told him at the door, it's going to be another 2.5 at least. So he's a poll, So he's a poll watcher, and he's going to vote before he does his job on Tuesday. But there's no excuse for this. This is a little tiny community in Chester County, which, by the way, is looking pretty darn blue in my community. All these wealthy people with these huge signs, and hate doesn't make us great. And oh God,
there is no excuse. Look, they have the money now. Susan, we got Al Schmidt again coming on Monday. Third time may be the charm. He said the right things here, but he hasn't flexed his power to stop these people. I'm going to ask him. You went to all 67 counties. He did his due diligence. What did you see, Al, when you were there, or did it surprise you? If he had asked me, I would have told him it's going to be overwhelming because our listeners want to get ahead by doing mail-in, but they don't trust the system, so they want to do it right there.
Right. That's what I did. But I'll tell you, it really does have to be too big to rig this time.
Absolutely. Susan,
thank you.
Great
Thank
start.
you.
IKEA is a great, be thinking of pastry. I don't want to take it off yet. I don't want to take off the pastry one, but think of pastry is a good one, I think, for our look. Henry, do you have one? Do you have something Scandinavian?
Oh, I got a few. I mean,
okay, go ahead.
Where to start? So, first, I will take off the board an acquired taste. It's called surströmming.
Okay.
You ever heard of it?
No.
Surströmming is a lightly salted fermented Baltic sea herring.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful, but they like it there, apparently. Another one I'll take off is Flyers goalie Sam Ersson. Turned in another fantastic performance last night. Swedish guy.
Okay.
He looks awesome. And then I'll take the movie The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Takes place entirely in Sweden, both the original and the American remake.
All right. I don't know that anybody else was going to go with those, but...
Exactly. That's why I took them.
Good. All right. Well, you take them off the board if you think they're too big to fail, but that's okay. IKEA is a great one out of the box. All right. So I can give you... I'm not going to give any more polling data. We're going to say that Robert Cahaly is sick, but he is the big guy. He's going to be on a Monday. Give us that final snapshot here. He's the guy that called it in 2016. What does it look like in Pennsylvania? And what does it look like in the battlegrounds? And there's nothing here that indicates a landslide by anybody. You could argue good news in the early voting. We told you it's more women than men. But I'm waiting from Guy Shiraki to get some number crunching on that. We gave you some yesterday that looks good for Trump. That Trump supporters have decided to vote early, meaning mail-in ballot, either in place or through the mail, in numbers that dwarf what they did in 2020. And the question is this: are Democrats really going to show up? Now, I just did a show with Bob Brady, who is the big guy in Philadelphia. And I could tell Bob was sweating, Dan, a lot on Inside Story today because of that. I didn't wear a lobster bit.
You didn't wear it?
No, I should have.
Oh, come on.
He seems to have forgotten about the bet, so I didn't rub it in. But I haven't. Might be on a Monday. He bet 500,000 vote margin. I think, I could tell he got misty-eyed because Joe Biden's coming to town today at 3:30. And he's a Biden guy, that type of Democrat. He's not Harris. It's Kamala Harris, the big jinx here.
Did he actually cry for Joe Biden?
I get he's sentimental about Biden. It's the old-time Democrat. Biden's more that Democrat than a progressive. He's doing all that, because that's what you got to do now. But doing her final event at the Art Museum. Remember Hillary, the ghost of 2016. Here we go. And I'll tell you, the end of the week here, the frustration I have, we have been on top of everything. Thanks to listeners, thanks to Dan and Henry and the great guest. But I can't get inside the voter registration fraud anymore. I can't penetrate what's happening in Lancaster, Monroe County, Berks, a bunch of other places. And it's going to be fascinating today to see how late Bucks County is open to. Remember, if you get into those election offices, now I'm not sure, I'd say 4:30 is a better bet. The 5 o'clock is the one downtown. They have to let you vote by mail-in ballot. So get there, get people there, bank it. It's like a scoreboard. We don't want to hear on election night, man, it looks like we're going to have to win by 1.5 million votes, because I don't think that's going to happen on election day. All right, 855-839-1210. I'm coming to your call. IKEA is a good one to start with, though. Hey, the NBA is back, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Finals. All that you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater. Place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more this season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Some lady came up to my house and knocked on the door. I was getting ready to take the trash out, and she wanted to ask me if I was voting. I'm voting the other way, and I do this little old radio show in the morning, and I explained it to her. She goes, well, are you aware of? And I said, ma'am, with all due respect, we don't need to kick around the policies. This is what I do for a living, 20 hours a week. I'm just trying to
I live and breathe this stuff.
I'm just trying to take the trash out. I gave her a little smile. I said, well, you have a great day. Best of luck. And I shook her hand. I said, God bless. Move on.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle. And their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
This Merrill Reese update is brought to you by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
The Eagles will induct LaShawn Shady McCoy into their Hall of Fame Sunday. He owns most of the Eagles' rushing records, including most yards for a career and a season, most touchdowns in a season, and the most yards in a game. December 8th, 2013, that was that snow game at the Link against the Lions. Shady McCoy gained 217 yards. Shady McCoy, one of the best ever. With the Eagles, this is Merrill Reese.
Looking for the confidence to walk away from the 9 to 5? Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
It is It's Dom time. Welcome in. So President Trump on the campaign trail yesterday. Now, this is why the entertainment value of Trump is so strong, and it's not a cutting remark. Here's President Trump on physical fitness and on lifting weights. Here's what Trump said.
I remember York easy to remember because I used to lift weights for about a week. Then I realized I don't want to do it. I realized I don't like it, Mike. And York was the barbells and all that stuff. I think that's moved to China, along with a lot of other things. Well, maybe we'll bring it back. We're going to tariff the hell out of them. We'll bring it back.
All right. I remember that, York. I think it was this bald-headed guy. It was like Charles Atlas, one of those guys. That's the early weightlifting. Trump for about a week. I got to see that, whether it was a week or not. And this is cut 19. Here are Fox and Friends diners this morning breaking out. They had the Weekend Fox and Friends guy at a diner chanting, "We are trash."
Stand up who are wearing the safety vest, because I was reading that at it's a great call. At a bunch of Trump events over the last 2 days, people have been dressed just like that for Halloween.
That's a great call. Hey, would you stand up if you're wearing a safety vest? If you're wearing a safety vest this morning, there you go.
There you go.
Orange.
All right. We can see them a mile off.
I know someone in South Carolina that sent me a picture of them dressed up yesterday, and it's the safety vest pushing the green, what we call a Herbie Kirby, the green garbage can, and a Trump hat. And now we need to add a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is garbage."
And by the way, they were chanting, "We are trash." That's the first time in America I've never heard chant has ever. That will not be replicated at any other point. Another unprecedented moment in American election history. Thank you, Will.
We are proud to
All right, so what can happen over the weekend here? Right? Anything can happen. Think about last weekend. This dope gets up, the comedian they hired. Then we had the garbage stuff. Then we had Mark Cuban, who's still out there on the trail. Now, I don't know if Mark Cuban has talked about this today. The jobs report says only 12,000 jobs. This is the lowest in quite a while, back to COVID, were created or people found a job, 12,000. That'll probably be revised down anymore. That's not the issue, though, really, with the economy. That's not it. It's a simple issue, no matter how many times the Biden-Harris people try to deflect from it. The issue is you spent trillions and trillions of dollars. You printed money. When you print money unnecessarily in the manner that they did, you devalue the money we have in our pockets and money going forward. You can't create magic money. That's what they did. It's baked in now. It's kind of related to their ban on energy or their curtailment of energy on top of it. When you put those two things together, you're going to get this baked in inflation. That's where we are. And it's going to take a completely different course of action to remove what's diminished the middle class. How many times do we have to say it? They don't want to hear it. But that's what Biden-Harris did. It's textbook. And this is why inflation's so serious. You know, all these parallels they make to Nazi Germany, that's what drove people in large measure toward almost civil war in Germany. When you get high inflation, it wrecks things. And I just am one, we have to say it to them, no, this is not America. You don't get to diminish Americans, their shopping, etc. They should be able to afford a standard of living where they don't have to curtail their life in the manner that we've had to do it over the last X number of years. Isn't that the bottom line? Isn't that the thing? And when you mix in the border and all the money spent on people here illegally, those two things are volatile. By the way, check out my column today, Delaware Valley Journal, or on Twitter at DomShow1210. I wrote about the sleeper issue. I'm seeing it in all kind of ads with Bob Casey and at the congressional level. The sleeper issue is transgender, particularly males in female sports. Okay? The Trump people will have spent by the end about $38 million on that. I would have doubled that. People care about this. All right, you got the side question. Let's go to Paul in Westchester, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Paul, good afternoon.
Hey, Don, thanks so much for taking my call, long-time listener. You talked about inflation. What about you think when Trump and his Bible was made in China costs $3 a make, and he's charging $50 and $150 with ones that sign. That's inflation when you consider that.
All right. Well, Paul, people don't have to buy the signs, but we do have to buy food, right? See, Paul, can you admit this is the big mistake of Biden that falls over to Harris? It's inflation. It's what has people the most angry.
Well, then see, that come with time, though. That's just the same thing. It ain't nothing changed. That's just like when toilet paper, when it was under his watch. We couldn't even get toilet paper, something so simple as toilet paper.
Well, wait a minute. That's due to COVID shortages and things of that nature.
On his watch.
Paul, that's due. Okay, Paul, that's due to COVID. I'm saying to you, do you think Americans are wrong to say they shouldn't pay as much as they're having to pay at the grocery store?
Well, we all know because of the price that comes with inflation. That just would come.
Where did inflation come from?
It comes with the times.
No, it doesn't. Paul, wait a minute. Inflation is usually around 2% or so, and with Trump it was a little under 2%. Yes, not 9.5% as it was with Biden. Paul, give me your answer. What says Scandinavia to you? What do you have?
Okay, but I got Scandinavian, but the Bucks County thing, that was under Republican watch in a Republican county. So don't cry.
No, excuse me. Wait a minute. Paul, the two commissioners are progressives. The two commissioners out there, the majority commissioners that run it, they're both Democrats.
Okay, and then also the thing about Biden and the comma, that's the same thing what I owe your host between something that's public record from allegedly and a comma. You know what I'm saying?
It's an apostrophe, but anyhow, Paul, what's your Scandinavian thing?
Regal little cough drops and those wooden clogs shoes that they make. I don't know the name of them.
All right, that's good. Ricola, yes, it's very good. All right, that's a good.
Ricola.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Put that up there with IKEA. Boy, I'm impressed. So tomorrow I'm going to begin my talk to these millionaires from Scandinavia at a rooftop. You know, here's what my listeners said when we think of Scandinavia. Ricola, IKEA. I might throw technology and health in. I have to give them a few bones on that.
Got to ask them about surströmming.
Yes.
Do you really eat that?
Yeah, just to get them. Well, I'm going to bring back a lot of Scandinavian knowledge back to the show on Monday. But, you get these opportunities because of great listeners and because of people coming here. This is the place to go in Pennsylvania. All right, so 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. All right, Dr. Vance, this is a great time to take my word for it as we head into wintertime, change of seasons and all that. If you're thinking about dentistry, dental care, it's been a while, you put it off, you don't like the dental situation you were in, take a shot. Get that free evaluation. Get that evaluation with Dr. Vance. Let him take a look-see and tell you what kind of plan, where we're going to go with this. Maybe you have been a Dr. Vance patient. You've dropped off for some reason. Nobody's better with making people feel comfortable, getting over anxiety, and just giving you state-of-the-art, world-class dentistry. So Dr. Vance does this for any age, but particularly, say you're over 50. A lot of things he wants to head off at the past. Maybe you've gotten bad dentistry in the past. Go to my dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Vance. It's 610-272-6949. That's how you can make that initial appointment. You will see. You can even ask them. I mean, just that 3D printer they use to make your teeth, just the technology that they have, and just the tips that he'll give you to make life so much easier. Give them a call at 610-272-6949.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Tahisha Way, New Jersey's Lieutenant Governor, with a message for New Jersey voters. You have 3 voting options in the general election. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Vote early, in person Saturday, October 26th through Sunday, November 3rd. Or apply for, complete, and return a mail-in ballot. Whatever you choose, vote by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 5th. Details at vote.nj.gov.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. At 1 o'clock, we're going to talk with Chris Ruddy, the owner of Newsmax, about their coverage versus Fox's, etc. All right, and why is Newsmax surging? I'm not sure how many listeners prefer Newsmax over Fox. That was happening for a while. All right, let me go to Matt in Brigantine, though. And Matt, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt, you're on.
Hey, Dom. Hey,
go ahead,
how
Matt.
are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, just wanted to let you know and everybody know, my daughter's online to early vote in Levittown, PA, Bucks County. She's been online since 9:15 this morning.
Oh, boy.
She still has a way to go. You know, she thinks she probably still has another hour or more, maybe 2. It looks like they only have 2 people working for the voting.
Yeah.
So people that did vote and came out said that they were online for 4 hours. So Jim, I called Fitzpatrick, I called Board of Elections, called Republican Party, but Jim Worthington just showed up. The Trump campaign sending chairs for people. Jim's and I think the Trump campaign are also sending food for people. Jim called Lara Trump, let her know. But yeah, they are, and you know, some folks that were there yesterday said they turned all the lights out at 4:30, including the street lights, so it was completely pitch dark.
God, you know what this is, Matt? This has me more enraged. We're contacting Jim.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have him on in the 1 o'clock hour. We have a guest, but then Jim. What they're doing is they're going to comply with the part of the court order that says if you're in there before 5 o'clock, they have to let you do this. But they're going to make it miserable because that's what these two are out there. Miserable.
Exactly right. That's exactly what they're doing. And, you know, how people can, the Democratic Party, you know, how you can be a part of this. Like, what are we doing? What are we, a third world country now? I mean, this is outrageous.
It is. And I'm glad Worthington's on there, Matt, because you said something about chairs and food, et cetera. You know, we'll get him on. see what he needs, what he's doing, but you're taking the right course of action. And this is all going to come into play on Election Day, because anybody listening now that doesn't vote against this stuff, they ought to move out of the country, because it's only going to get worse.
You're exactly right. And I think they're also doing this to make it so people don't want to do this anymore, and they're not going to early vote next time because they're going to go, this is, it's just too difficult, right? It's unbelievable, unconscionable.
Well, good for you and your daughter, and thanks for alerting us to that, Matt. We'll get with Jim momentarily. We appreciate it very much. Right. Chris Ruddy coming up, and I'll ask him, Chris, you're aware of what's going on over in Bucks County. Now he's running Newsmax, et cetera, but I'll see if I can get them to go over there too. This is typical. Yeah, so they said, we got to serve you, meaning if you're here before 5 or 4:30, whichever one it is, you can wait, and we'll get to you. That's on you. But we are going to make it as difficult as we possibly can. So what should our response be? More motivation. We don't roll over into a fetal position. We fight back. We beat them every single day, every single Democrat at every single level. And you people out there in Bucks County with your abortions, et cetera, is that all it's about? Maybe you're cheering it on. You like this stuff. These people and Trump people, they don't deserve anything. They're garbage anyhow. Why would we make this comfortable that people are coming to vote? It's supposed to be good government. You have all that money. Where's the Bucks County Courier-Times, too? Send somebody over there. Cover something. All right, we'll get Jim Worthington on right after Chris Ruddy. That's straight ahead here with Dom. You got the side question. Something from Scandinavia. We had IKEA already, which was a great one. I like Ricola is very good. Let me take one more quickly here. Maria in Blackwood. Maria, what's yours?
Okay, yodeling is my really first one.
Yeah, that's a very good one. Yeah, I don't know which of the Scandinavian countries are more yodelers. I'm a little unclear on that, but that is a very good one. All right, here's what we got for you. We got Chris Ruddy, who runs Newsmax. And then we're going to get Jim Worthington out there in the middle of the fray, guys. And we're going to see what they're doing in Bucks County. That seems to me like typical stuff. They'll comply with the court order, which is, if you're in line, we're going to have to serve you. But still only 2 people? How in the world can you do that? All right, that's all coming up. Chris Ruddy next of Newsmax and your calls with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
It all comes down to this. Election night, the election of our lifetime. What will happen? Where will the problems and surprises be? Will Pennsylvania decide who the next president is?
I come from the middle class, and I'll never forget where I come from.
Be here for our election night coverage starting at 7 p.m. with Rich Cioli, Jimmy Fela, Don Stensland, Nick Cale, and Dom Giordano, plus Walter Sterling into the wee small hours. All live, all local. Election night starting at 7 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
This school year, get your child or grandchild the help they need to succeed. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and help your child have an outstanding year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at metc.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
They don't call her Confiscation Kamala for nothing. Don't take it from us.
And I support a mandatory buyback program.
A mandatory buyback program? That means the government forcing you to turn in your firearms. To what lengths would Kamala go? Well, she doesn't even support the individual right to own a firearm.
I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country.
We get it. Sometimes it's tough to understand what she's talking about. But on the Second Amendment and your rights, Confiscation Kamala has been crystal clear. Her gun control agenda comes straight from that petri dish of bad ideas that is California. She can claim to be a gun owner all she wants, but we all know she's the same anti-gun California radical she's always been. Don't be left defenseless. Defeat confiscation Kamala. Vote Trump like your life depends on it, because it does. NRA Political Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NRAPVF.org.
As a bank, PNC prides themselves on being boring. But the truth is, they couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, they've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for their equally brilliant clients. PNC has dedicated teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. All hands on deck. I'm trying to think of all the people I can contact. I got one of the biggest right here because of what's going on over in Bucks County again, where they're doing what they did, only worse, and we had a court order. Jim Worthington is alerted. He's there with chairs, food, and calling up the rest of the country, and we'll have him on very shortly. But I have a guy that is a powerhouse in the media. Chris Ruddy, Newsmax CEO and real creator of what Newsmax has become. It's surging right now. Chris joins us here in Philadelphia to talk about Newsmax in this election. Hey, Chris, great to talk with you again. It's been years.
Dom, I'm going to hire you as my PR agent for Newsmax. You're the best.
Well, it's all true.
And coming from a guy who's the key person in this Philadelphia market, which may determine the election of the next president. It's actually a little frightening what's going on in Philadelphia and in Pennsylvania because, we want to make sure that every vote is counted accurately and fairly. And people are saying news reports that there's real questions about what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know if you have your Newsmax guys here, Chris. We know about Philadelphia. I know you know that. But what's happened is a lot of the people who had more money, were smarter, but very progressive, moved to Bucks and Montgomery County, and they're doing the same thing. So what we have now is a court order, and I know Newsmax has been covering this, because of the shame of how they were treating mainly Trump voters who wanted to vote in person, hand their mail-in ballot in. They're saying you can do that, but we're not going to tell you how long it's going to take. It could take 7 or 8 hours today. In other words, they're refusing to put on more people, even though we have a court order. That's what's happening.
It's amazing. I hope there's no hanky-panky. I am concerned about the high number of Democratic mail-in ballots. Now, they all appear legal.
Right.
But by a margin of 2-1, so there's over 2 million mail-in ballots that have been requested in the state of Pennsylvania. They're coming in a rate of 2-1 in favor of the Democrats. It was at first 65%, and the Republicans have been improving their numbers, but it's still in that 60-30 area.
Let's
and
talk.
That's going to give it's a Freudian slip. I was going to say Joe Biden, but give Kamala Harris a lead of about 500,000 votes on Election Day before any vote gets counted at the ballot on the box. And so President Trump's going to have to do well. He has done well on election days. He should win it. But we hope those votes come in for him.
Well, absolutely. It was 1.1 million advantage last year, Chris. So if it holds, and I think your figure's pretty accurate of where it will end up, Trump is going to do very well on election night. Now, you know Trump for 25 years. You know him as well as almost, other than Bill O'Reilly that comes on with me, et cetera. Give me a sense of this campaign and what Trump has done. We've seen the brilliance, right? The McDonald's, the garbage thing. And then we saw the misplay of that comedian somebody picked out in the Trump camp to lead off at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I think that the Madison Square Garden thing was a tremendous thing for the president. We had 7 million people tune into Newsmax watching it. So the
7 million?
Ignorance,
wow.
7 million people. We had 4 million plus, according to Nielsen, during our coverage of the rally. So it's the total viewership.
Yeah.
And then we had another 3 million on what we call streaming. Newsmax has 2 channels. We have the cable channel, which is on all the major cable systems, including Xfinity there in Philadelphia, the great Xfinity. We're on, and we just added YouTube TV. So if you have YouTube TV, you can now get Newsmax. Just go and look us up on the guide under Newsmax.
Why is Newsmax surging? You know, I don't know if you're in direct competition with Fox and there's differences there. You're the guy that created this and runs it day to day. What makes Newsmax different?
Well, I always say to people, to understand the difference is just tune into Newsmax and see what you're getting and see what you like. And people will always say it's different. It feels different than Fox. They like the personalities. We start off with Greta Van Susteren at night. We have Rob Schmidt, who's terrific. We have Rob Finnerty now at 8. Greg Kelly, who's famous, at 9 o'clock. So we have a really good Carl Higbee at 5. And people really like our personalities. Our coverage tends to be, I think, very fair. You know, we bring on Democrats. But during the primary, Fox would not cover a lot of President Trump's activities and speeches and rallies. We did. We covered most of them. President Trump has spoken very favorably of Newsmax. He's criticized Fox. A lot of people think Fox is changing. But you know, Dom, what's really is telling is that the Nielsen numbers show that in the third quarter, 33 million people watched Newsmax, up from 22 million the quarter before. You've been in media. You know how big that is.
That's
have a quantum leap like
almost
that.
hard to believe. That isn't a tsunami. It shows something is happening. So talk about your election night coverage. What are you going to try to do? What will be what we'll see on Newsmax?
Well, we have an incredible lineup of people. We have Greta Van Susteren and Carl Higbee going from Washington from 5 to 7. Then we have Ed Henry and Bianca De La Garza going from 7 o'clock through the night. And they're going to be doing wall-to-wall coverage. We're going to have reporters at all the major campaign headquarters with President Trump down in Mar-a-Lago, with the Kamala people. We're going to have reporters in all of the key swing states where there's battleground Senate races, including David McCormick there in Pennsylvania. We'll be in with Bernie Moreno in Ohio. And we're going to be watching very carefully. I think we called a couple of elections first last time in 20. We work with Decision Desk HQ, very famous in the election analysis business. And we're going to be on top of it. So people that want to come to not only watch Newsmax, we'll also be reporting a lot of it on Newsmax.com, our website.
That's really good stuff. So how do things change in your business with Newsmax, if at all, if Trump wins or Trump loses?
I don't think, people say sometimes it's better if you have a Democrat in there. I remember one of our best years ever was after Bush won in re-election in 2005. One of our best years ever was in 21 after President Trump lost that close election. So it's really hard to say how you're going to. I think there's just so much news. There's a lot of polarization, frankly. One of the big developments with us is that we're planning to go public. We announced this summer, and we're going to do an IPO later this year, early next year. We filed with the SEC. Mm-hmm. We've had tremendous interest in the public that are coming to our We even created a website for it called newsmaxinvest.com. That's one word, newsmaxinvest.com. And we have over 50,000 people joining with us. And we think that we're going to be a major, major player. We're now the fourth highest rated cable channel. And the Reuters Institute just said that we were one of the top 12 news brands in the United States.
Absolutely. And again, one of the first websites I go to is Newsmax. And there you get not only the take on the big news stories of the day, there's a lot of information, health, education, things of that nature you don't find on some of the other news sites.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're like, you go to your local newspaper or media and they will hide news that they don't want you to see. They're not giving you a full national report. And we feel like Talkers Magazine said we're the Bible for the talk radio and the radio television industry about news that's important to Americans in the heartland. And so we're very excited about that.
Well, have a great election night. We'll be thinking about you here in Philadelphia in the center of this. Have your guys call over if they want to know what's happening.
Yes. Well, we'll definitely, I'm going to definitely reach out to you, Dom, and we look forward to working closely with the great WPHT there in Philadelphia. And
Thank
the
you,
Dom
Chris.
Giordano show.
Thank you, Chris.
Dom.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on
Bye.
today. All right, Chris Ruddy here on Talk Radio 1210. You know what that is, the sound? That's usually the sound for Dan breaking some news, but some other things might be getting broken up there. I know who I'd call if I had trouble out there in Bucks County. Get Jim Worthington over. He'll bench press him. Jim, where are you, and what the heck is going on?
Well, I'm in Levittown, Pennsylvania, the Bucks County. My phone started blowing up an hour ago, letting me know that the line to vote here in Levittown is now, well, it was 5 hours, now it's 6 hours. And they have one person working the area, trying to handle a line that wraps around the government service buildings. I've alerted Lawrence Davis, the state chair, Michael Watley, Laura Trump. Everybody's aware of it. Literally, they did the letter of the law with what the Judge Trauger issued on Wednesday, which was a suit that we initiated. They opened it up for voting Thursday and Friday, but what they did is they still kept the people from voting by not providing enough manpower here. So literally, they've known about this since Wednesday. They are disenfranchising voters. People who have already left the line. The woman that's sitting in the next to go up was here at 8 o'clock this morning. I think it's 1 o'clock now. 6 hours. She's the next to go up. It's incredible. And this is just another example. And by the way, go figure, in Doylestown, where the majority of people are Democrats, that line is a half an hour. In Levittown, where you've got a ton of Trump voters, I mean, there's nothing but signs, Trump signs all over this area. It's 6 hours. A little bit fishy to me, Dom.
Yeah, and Jim, J.D. Mullane, who is just a great writer, did this big piece on Levittown. He's coming on next. And in it, he talked about the change in Levittown. They were moderate Democrats and many union types, and now they're much more likely to be Trump voters. So what's going to happen? You know, we got to get some of the representatives in there, Jim, or do you have lawyers ready to go to get the judge? The judge's going to have to issue. You can come on Saturday now. What other remedy is there for people in Levittown?
Well, here's what's the latest. So everybody on the Trump team asked me to reach out to a county commissioner, which I did, Diane Marseglia. I couldn't get her on the phone. I texted her. She basically said, she didn't understand why all these folks were here voting on today when they could vote Tuesday. I didn't get a chance to respond to her.
I'm sorry, Jim. I mean, you know what, lady? What business are you? I know what business they're in, Jim. They did the same thing during COVID.
Well, here's the bottom line. Whether it's on purpose or it's just incompetence, either way, it's not acceptable. And there's a woman sitting in front of me on a chair on a hillside. I took a picture of her earlier. She's probably 90 years old, waiting out in the sun to vote. Yeah, we're going to have to get a wheelchair up the side of the hill to get her up to the thing. She's been here I don't know how many hours. But you know what? I got to give her credit. She wants to vote. She's been here for 5 hours, they told me. She's over 90 years old. Now, I will tell you, a number of people have left already. And still, the back of the line, they're talking about 5-6 hours from now. It's crazy. It's crazy, Dom.
Well, Jim,
And,
we're glad you're on the scene, but this is frustrating beyond belief. So what's the call then? What could be done? Again, can you go back to the judge, and the judge got to say, you know what, you didn't understand me. That's it. You're being fined, plus you're going to be open on Saturday. And he's got to then tell them, Jim, you're going to have 18 people there. You're going to have these printers. He's got to specify. Otherwise, you're going to jail. How's that?
Well, yeah, and, the fact of the matter, I think Judge Trauger thought that they were going to give their best effort, but he didn't define it, and I feel bad for him because I think he did the right thing by opening up, but they just did the minimum, and the minimum wasn't enough, and I think if I was the judge, I'd probably take this personally. And I would probably, if I didn't extend it, if I was going, maybe he extends it to Saturday, maybe he extends it to Sunday, maybe he extends it to Monday. But, this excuse in Bucks County is, we don't have enough help. If there was a major snowstorm, you'd have everybody and their brother out on snowplows getting overtime working. But when it comes to voting, we just don't have enough people. It's bullshit, really.
Well, well, Jim, a note, the Van Plunk, the woman who's the controller, said, they still have about $2.5, $2.6 million, if it comes up in your conversations here, that they haven't spent on election money. They have the money. Al Schmidt is not responsible. But Al Schmidt is the other one. He's going to be on Monday, Jim. But if I had him on now, I'd say, Al, you got to get a helicopter, get over there, and tell them to put the people in line. What authority do you have in your office? Tell them what's going to happen if they don't.
Well, these people are smart. They know Bucks County is the epicenter of this election. If you win Bucks County, you probably win Pennsylvania. And if you win Pennsylvania, you're the next president. So they are doing, literally, if it's either disenfranchising the voters on purpose or complete incompetence. And by the way, look at who's running the county. It's a 2-to-1 majority Democrat thing. I don't personally dislike these people, but if this is the way they run a county and the most important election of our lifetime, and we have people that can't vote, and we have 90-year-old women sitting here for 6 hours hoping to vote, it's just unacceptable.
God. Yeah, Jim, please keep us in the loop, Jim. When anything breaks, you have carte blanche. Just by the way, Jim, you look pretty good in the Daily Caller coverage of your McDonald's thing the other day.
You and me, we did that together, Dom. You got a lot of people there, and it was a great day. And, the president was happy you and I were there. And I'm still working on trying to get him to call in for you. I haven't given up on that. He needs to be on your show. You've got a big audience, a lot of great followers, and you're a patriot, and I think you could do a lot to help his cause. So I'm still working on it between trying to trying to shed some light on this. So thank you for picking this up and letting me get on.
Yeah, call us back, Jim, when anything breaks, okay?
All right, buddy. Thank you,
Jim. Thanks, Mark, was it from Brigantine? My God, 90-year-old woman. You know what? This is that Harv de Grasse guy. Hey, Diane, well, why don't they just vote on Tuesday? Diane, why don't you read the Constitution? Why don't you read the law? Why don't you read how miserable you are? Call us and tell us why. Make your case, Dan. I'll go into the thing. Put me in the chains. Put me in the mask, the whole thing. Diane, you can have 5 minutes. Just let people across the area and across the state and across the country, wherever they're listening in, know why you are still slow walking this. And is it a coincidence the judge should be asking, why is it a half hour in Doylestown, as Jim said, and 6 hours there in Levittown? Why might that be? All right, 855-839-1210, you get a line. That's why you can't beat talk radio. Shameless plug for this station. You're not getting something like that anywhere. Unfiltered, right there from the scene. 90-year-old woman. My God. Well, we're complying. You said we had to comply. Well, you people are just going to have to. They resent it. Look, I get the compromise. People have followed what we've said for 6 months. You got to do this. You got to bank the vote so they can chase other votes so we know that it's there. We don't leave any vote on the field. But I understand. You don't trust it. I understand why. Look at them. And we're being told, oh, stop it already. We're in the big news organizations. Is the Bucks County Courier-Times there? Are they doing a headline story on this? This is outrageous. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're bold, and they're looking this judge in the eye. Is the judge going to blink? Or is he going to say, all right, I'm defining this. I'm coming over, Judge. That's what you ought to do. And see this. And tell them you have a half hour to clean this up, or there's going to be other penalties. You're not following the court order. Is it a fine? Is it jail? What is it? All right, 855-839-1210. Bucks County, Trump is going to win Bucks County, too, on election night. It's one of the first things I'm going to be looking at. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. We haven't forgotten the side question. We're getting great ones on that. And are you a fan of Newsmax versus Fox News? There's been a lot of stuff back and forth over that. 855-839-1210.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Dawn Stensland here. We're off to paradise once again, the Italian Riviera, on a gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. Join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator in Italy. A+ rating with the BBB. Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita, Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre, $53.78. That includes your airfare, dining events at the winery in Tuscany, even an authentic farm visit to see Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. Toll free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Hidden Italian villages you've never seen, like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, and Milan. And concluding on the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, and Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Welcome in. Jim Worthington, we knew he'd be on the spot. We'll update you on what the heck's going on. Judges, national people, etc. Linda Kearns probably is headed over there in a helicopter right now. We'll see what happens. She may have an update. The boldness of these people. You know, it's not even Montgomery County, the Mr. Softy truck. It's not Philadelphia. You know what they do? It's Bucks County. You know why? They think the people there, as long as they toe that line on abortion and telling us about we're banning books in schools, and of course, we want boys to play against girls. As long as they toe the line on that and keep the schools closed during COVID, they're going to get reelected time after time. What happened to the suburbs? Think of an action like this, what's going on after a judge has said, yo, come on, stop it. You're going to give them more time now. Oh, we'll give them all the time they want. As long as you're there by 5, you'll ultimately I'd like to be over there and see tonight, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, are people still, oh, yeah, we're still staying here. All right, Larry's in Langhorne. He was there. Larry, what can you tell us about it?
Well, it's a mess, just like you're saying. I got there yesterday at about 4 o'clock. By 6, I had moved about 20 feet, and people were leaving. They closed the line off at 4:30, and the people had, through attrition, had left all the way up to me, and I finally gave up. They had people that were there in front of me. They were saying 10 to 15 people apiece, and I just couldn't stay there until 9, 10 o'clock at night to continue this disaster. The last person that left before I did successfully with a ballot had been there since 12:30, and this was 6 o'clock. It was past 6 o'clock.
My God!
And the other thing they did, though, is at 5, they shut down the drop box. They said, no, you can't drop, so you would have to come back. Even if you had gotten a ballot, you would have to come back again today or Saturday to drop your vote off or put it in the mail.
Miserable, Larry. I hope you tell 100 people. I'm going to try to tell 100,000 to remember this on Election Day, those that didn't vote early.
They're like termites. They're like termites. They never quit. They just keep eating away at us as best they can. It's in their DNA.
Well, we're going to beat them on Election Day. Thank you, Larry. Thanks very much. So, Dan, we heard from the controller's office. She texted you. Wow. That's good detective work.
Yeah, no, she's being great about this. Any kind of numbers or anything we need.
Let's get her on.
Yeah. Well, I invited her for 145.
Yeah.
And she's working on those grant numbers, grant funding numbers.
I saw some account where she said in this, and I have to pull it up. In these years, we got this much, and we still had this much left over. Then the 2024, we got this much, and it's still left over. It seemed to me millions of dollars, my point, is still there.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to go begging with a tin cup in the middle of Levittown to pay.
Yeah. So a little inside baseball here, though. But
yeah.
So I proposed 145. If Pam's listening, that's fantastic. We'd love to have you. But just curious, can you lay forth exactly what it was that you wanted to talk besides that? Is there anything else? Or
Well, she can tell us her thoughts on this, too. Because she knows not only the money, she knows the resources, et cetera.
Gotcha.
How hard would this have been to do? They had this for 6 months. They were told, hey, this might be, I'll get an update, too, on what's going on in Bucks County. I really appreciate it. So they hunted you down and had your phone. Wow. Pretty good.
Well, this goes back because Pam's been kind enough to join us in the past.
I know.
So,
I know, but I think that's still pretty good. Usually we're hunting them down on this. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. We're going to talk to J.D. Mullane, who wrote this big piece in the Bucks County Courier-Times about Levittown. And Levittown now is making a lot of news because, as we understand it, it's taking 5 or 6 hours there. In Doylestown, not so much. Why? Well, in Doylestown, maybe they're not so Trumpy. In Levittown, is this another sign of what's happened? Now, Levittown used to be these moderate Democrats, I would say, or maybe they were not so politically involved. It wasn't a hotbed that way. Republicans usually didn't do that well there. And now Trump has broken through to some degree. And is it any wonder? This is where the polling place is, where the election office is, where all this nonsense is going on. So we're going to see what the judge does, what the system does, and are they able to get away with this? Now, they're stars in progressive circles. You know that, and I know that. That's what makes these people tempted to fool around with elections. Because whatever happens to you, whatever anybody says, in certain circles, you're a hero because you're stopping Hitler. I told you earlier today, Trudy Rubin, who writes for the Inquirer, is usually, I've had her on, one of the calmer people at the Inquirer. She's a liberal, but okay. She writes international affairs. Today, she just writes a column saying, no doubt about it, Trump is a fascist. She goes to all sorts of fascism experts. Oh, he's a fascist, up and down the line. It's endless. And then they wonder why we're going through this sort of thing with 2 assassination attempts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. But Mark Cuban and the garbage thing have really struck a chord here. They've kind of washed away the Madison Square Garden. We'll keep you updated until 3 o'clock with what's going on out there in Bucks. We're going to see if the system is going to help people. Now, the judge did help them. You know that. And I was surprised how quickly he ruled and said, yup, you're going to remain open. If they're in line, you're going to serve them. So what do? We're open. We're willing to serve you. It just may take you 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Is the judge on the first screen chipping or something today? Hey, Judge, maybe you should react to that. All right, we're coming up with J.D. Mullane, and then we'll talk with the controller out there who put out these statistics that I saw.
Not confirmed yet, but hopefully.
Okay, hopefully, Pamela Van Plunk. We'll talk with her about, do they have the resources? I mean, what does she think? Because I don't think her office is directly involved in being able to do anything. Who can do something? Well, the judge can. I don't know who else in America can do something. We got a 90-year-old woman in a hill they may have to bring in a wheelchair. Is that America? Well, if she's a Trump voter, that's a good day in America. That's the way they're thinking. That's why this election is so important. Hey, Philadelphia, South Jersey, Diane Giordano's back with me for years. It must be 15 years or so. Diane has been on with me. If you are someone who's seeing those price-reduced signs popping up everywhere, it's not the market's fault. If your home isn't priced right or staged to shine, it's going to sit and keep on sitting. And you don't want that. Diane is a big friend and has helped me help homeowners avoid those dreaded price cuts for over 30 years. She's got the know-how to make your home look its best, sell fast, and sell for top dollar. It's all about smart pricing, expert staging, and creative marketing. A little investment in a well-thought-out pricing strategy can mean thousands more in your pocket. Yes, I'm talking thousands. So before you put up that for sale sign, give Diane a call. She'll help you make your home irresistible to buyers, get it sold fast, sometimes even in just 2 days. You want to know more? Call her now at 215-576-8666 or visit 215-576-8666.com. Get a copy of her new book, Model Home Mindset. Don't wait. Reach out. Let's get that home sold for top dollar. 215-576-8666.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. 800-290-7100.
Are you looking to remodel your home?
Emmons Remodeling offers complete remodeling services to turn your house into your dream home.
With quality craftsmanship and attention to every detail, Emmons designers and construction experts can handle all of your remodeling needs from kitchens to baths to basements and additions.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
New Jersey, this is Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, or early in person starting Saturday, October 26th, or vote by mail. Details at vote.nj.gov.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Home on the free, yeah. Little big houses.
Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in. Yesterday, we were in the middle talking with J.D. Mullane when Don Jr. called in. He had a big piece yesterday, Bucks County Courier-Times, about exactly where the center of the action is today. Levittown, the Levittown election office, very problematic. Could it be because they sense that Levittown is no longer solid, moderate, Democrat, Union Democrat sort of capital of that? J.D. will tell us on Talk Radio 1210. Sorry about that yesterday, J.D. Thanks for being with us today.
No problem, Don.
Hey, where are you? It sounds like a lot of action there.
Yeah, I'm out here at the Government Services Center in Lower Bucks in Levittown, the heart of Levittown. And I just talked to some people. They've been waiting 4 and 5 hours to get in line. I texted our county commissioner, Diane Marseglia, to seek some help, relief. A lot of seniors out here. They have chairs set up for them and haven't gotten any response. So I don't know why this is. We've had a couple $1 million sent to the county to fix this stuff. I'm not sure what they spend it on, and it's certainly not our first time at the rodeo on this kind of style of voting. They had 4 years to figure this out, and it's just it's a mess. People are telling me here that it's total incompetence, it's disenfranchisement. If it is a plot of some sort from Doylestown or pressure from Harrisburg, I think it's going to backfire. They may win this, but they're not going to win this little battle here. But they're not going to win the war because there are an awful lot of ticked off Levittowners standing in line here. Democrats and Republicans.
Well, Doylestown, we hear Jim Worthington told us that Doylestown was pretty easy, half hour to 45 minutes. Those are probably not as many Trump voters. Levittown, your column, and I wonder if that column yesterday, J.D., I was going to ask you it, maybe reinforces in the minds of those on the fence. Maybe they wake up and realize, hey, the Republican Party is more, at least in large measure, morphing toward the working class party, across racial lines somewhat, but certainly with whites. And the Democrat Party, other than will give you more if you're in a union, doesn't have that pedigree anymore.
Yeah, what's happened to me in 1987 when I joined the Bucks County Courier-Times, Levittown was solid Kennedy Democrat. And above Route 1, the big dividing line here in Bucks County, from Yardley on up until you get to the hinterlands of Upper Bucks, was solidly Republican. The Lower Makefield Board of Supervisors was all Republican. Upper Makefield the same way. Now, that's all flipped. And it's just interesting to see that, but it all has to do with economics. But here's something ironic. I'm looking at a tent set up here giving away free Trump lawn signs, and there's also a big hand-painted sign that says "No More War." Now, you and I are old enough to remember what side of the political divide was the dove and which side was the hawk. So the people, the constituencies for the parties have flipped in Bucks County and probably across the country. If you look at people in this $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 socioeconomic.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's what's
JD,
happening.
you know, my take is with Trump, and we studied this pretty closely, there's a lot of things he's done that will be remembered, but the biggest, either he created it or he's a symptom. No unending wars. All these wars where American soldiers killed for what? He wasn't going to do it, didn't do it when he was president. Much different than the Cheneys, much different than Bush, much different even than Reagan, where they would get involved in these things. That's not happening anymore. That's the new course. And sadly, Democrats are the ones to say, well, we're willing to use those lives as a chip to say we're involved in the world. We're the policemen of the world. That is one of the biggest changes in our lifetime, I think.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it hits Levittown and places like Levittown, Perilous Hills, Bristol, Croydon, and Salem, because our kids are the ones who go over to these forever wars. And I can't tell you how many funerals and families I've sat with of these veterans who are killed, and written columns and stories about over the years. It's heartbreaking. So, yeah, we get hit with that their policies hit places like Levittown pretty hard, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt. And JD, again, the analysis on that, it was overwhelming with the people you worked with on Levittown, and I think it all comes back to the point of the change that we're talking about here. We'll see if it continues. When do we read J.D. Moline next? You covering this today? You going to write about this?
Yeah, I got a couple of stories. I got Planet Fitness in Langhorne they're famous for their no judgment zone, Planet Fitness, but now they have no election zone. They've turned off all the cable TVs in the Langhorne shop. I guess they've had to set that lunk alarm off for people getting into dust-ups over politics. So that'll be sometime this afternoon and probably this one.
Okay. We'll be reading you, JD, at phillyburbs.com and also buy the newspaper.
All right, Tom.
Thanks, JD. Great to talk with you again. I knew he'd be where the action is. A little windy there, but, what do you make of this? They're bold. They're sending a message. They're saying, we're going to be heroes here. Now, Dan's going back and forth with the controller. As I said, I think I said this even on Inside Story. I'm not sure. I have to go back in my mind. That'll be on Sunday at 11:30. I read the other day she was talking, I don't know if it was in the Courier or somewhere, about the grant money they had gotten from the state for elections. I don't know if they get federal money or not, too. Then they probably have their own budget. And it was expansive. You mean to say this is the best they're going to do? Are they going to rely and say, well, we didn't know it would be this much? Well, you did. But after the judge told you about this, what did you think? These people were just going to give up? All right, so we'll take you through till 3 o'clock at least, and we'll see. The judge has to intervene here. He ought to go over there himself. He ought to bring them over there, and he ought to tell them right there in front of everybody, we're going to have voting on Saturday and Sunday. You're going to have X number of people here. Do it. Or there'll be repercussions. They have the power to do it. They're usurping power. They're saying, well, we're following the letter of the law. That's all that we have to do. We're heroes here in Bucks County. And we're told all the time, oh, you people, right? Always complaining about this stuff. Now, look, there are more convenient ways to vote. Of course, we know the lines are going to be inordinate probably on Tuesday. I get that. You could just put it in the drop or put it in. We know all that. But this is legal. This is what people have been encouraged to do. It's a compromise. This is a polling place. Why are you disrespecting the process like this? I know why. I'm not a reporter. I can say it. Yeah, I'm looking at one other story, then we'll take more calls. This from Billy Penn, WHYY. Last-minute Philly poll worker appointments worry experienced election hands. So this Channel 12, WHYY in Philadelphia, they go off because Republican attorneys have asked to fill 255 positions, and the city objected to 4 that were already occupied. In other words, they're complaining because Republicans, as we've been documenting with Linda Kearns and others. I mean, Dawn and Rich and I all did a Zoom call with volunteers. They have overwhelmingly brought in volunteers to be poll watchers. Now they're complaining, well, you got too many of them. We don't want them coming here. They're going to be inexperienced. That's not good. Then stop living off your reputation for cheating and everything else and thug activities. It is good. Republicans, trust me, are going to be represented on the street well on Election Day. We'll be here on Election Day, and we'll take you through all that together. People like Joe DeFelice and Kevin Kelly who are in charge of this. They know exactly what they're doing. They know what happens in Philadelphia. Good for them. They're mad now because we have too many poll watchers. These are citizens doing their duty. Stop it already. Okay, we don't know what will happen next year. I know we'll take some calls, and hopefully we'll get you more information there, too. We're going to talk with Dave McCormick at 2 o'clock. We're going to talk with the Fox reporter who will be covering Philadelphia for Fox on Election Day. We have big Election Day coverage ourselves. You'll hear it rolling out. I know I'll be on around 9 o'clock with Dawn and Matt Rooney, then by myself at 10, and we'll try to bring you whatever's happening at that point. I think this is going to be called sometime around noon on that Thursday. I can't see it happening on Wednesday, and I can't see it going much afternoon on Thursday. I know, agita time. There'll be a lot in those days to talk about. Hey, one of the biggest and healthiest sales of the year is back again. Rescue Natural Supplements Black Friday sale is here. Right now, Rescue is slashing prices on every supplement with discounts up to an incredible 80% off. Rescue has a wide variety of products to address your health needs, including immunity and cholesterol support, heart health, natural energy enhancers. Grab huge savings on omega-3s. You can get probiotics and so much more. And one more thing, this Rescue Black Friday sale will run the entire month of November. So shop today at res-q.com, res-q.com, or call a Rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Again, all Rescue supplements are up to 80% off during the entire month of November. So why wait? Shop massive savings on essential supplements at res-q.com. Do it today.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle. And their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Never miss a moment from the Dom Giordano program again. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 1210 WPHT. And listen whenever and whatever works best for you.
All right, it is Dom time. Just behind the scenes, we have to play this from CNN. Bob Weir, who covers climate for them, says Life on Earth might end if you vote for climate denier Trump. Just remember that. That's what you're voting on. But we have something closer to home. Pan Van Plunk. No, why am I saying Plunk again? Blunk. I've said it too many times.
It's right there in front of you, Dom.
I know. It's right in front of me. I don't know why. We did it before when she was on. I apologize.
It's Pam, It's not
it's
Bam,
Pam,
right?
Yeah, it's Pam. She is the Bucks County Controller, and I happened to see something from her office or from her about all this grant money here on Talk Radio 1210. Controller, welcome back. Thank you very much. What can you tell us about the grant money from the state to Bucks County?
Hi, Dom. Thanks for having me. Appreciate being on and giving you the numbers. So in 2023, the Bucks County received $2,495,055 in what's called the Election Integrity Program.
Mm-hmm.
So that was for last year's election. They basically they spent $1,043,585 out of that grant money. So the county was able to carry over into, for this year, $1,451,470. This year, also there's another grant called the Election Security Grant, and that one for last year, now that's an accrual grant, so that's like a reimbursement. So the county was reimbursed $59,702 for last year's election. For the Election Security Grant, the election's not over this year, so we don't have that. That's a reimbursement, so we did not receive anything on that grant yet. But for the Election Integrity Program this year, 2024, the county received $2,490,096.66. So that's what they received in grant money for this election cycle. And remember, little less than like 1.45 million was carried over from last year.
So when I read that, and I apologize, I can't remember if you were in the Bucks County Courier or wherever, I've carried it with me and touted you jumping into this, because isn't that indicative that it's not a question when I have Al Schmidt on, and he maybe didn't know that, of resources. They have them. They wouldn't have to tell the taxpayers we're going to have to spend a lot of money. Why not spend them on printers and everything else that we're hearing they don't have?
Right. Well, I mean, I know that I voted last year via On Demand and promoted that. I think it's a good system for people who are a little apprehensive about dropping, their mail-in ballot. So, when you walk in, you give them your ID, and the Board of Election, the BOE actually prints out your ballot, and then you fill it out and you hand it in. So it does take a little time because they're printing out your actual ballot. So, I just don't think they were quite prepared. They didn't prepare accurately for, the volume of people that they would get this year during a presidential. One would think that there would be a lot more voters in a presidential than last year in a municipal election. I do think that they don't have the equipment. They just weren't prepared for this volume this year.
Well, we're hearing over in Doylestown, and this is the report that they're smoothly today, half hour, 45 minutes. In Levittown, we're out there 6 hours or something. I don't want to make it political on this, but it would seem to me that good government would say, we're going to move heaven and earth after the judge ordered this. We're going to do whatever is beyond humanly possible to make those lines shrink on Thursday and Friday. I don't see any of that happening.
Right. Well, I mean, I do want to say that the county employees,
right?
They are working very hard, and they can only do what the administration has provided them.
Right.
Right. So, if they did not man, you're right. I mean, Levittown has Lower Bucks has a huge population, much more than Upper Bucks. I'm hearing Upper Bucks in the Quakertown is also having long lines. And one would think that they would have, prepared for these long lines. especially given the fact that they were ordered by a judge to remain open. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm looking out my window right now, and I can see the line. I'm in Doylestown. My office is in Doylestown. I'm on the 5th floor. I have a beautiful view of the line, and it's wrapping around. What they did so the line isn't going through the administration building. They cut the line in half just so people, employees and the public for other reasons can get to the elevator. So what they did do is, the line inside the building stems down the entire hallway of the Board of Elections, and then they kind of cut it off at the security where you would enter in. So that's why the line is outside. And then, it's wrapping all the way around the block. This is the longest right now. What I'm looking at right now is the longest I've seen it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for the facts and figures. Again, I saw that, and I know your work, and I thought, well, you have the resources. So I don't understand what it would harm to err a little bit on the side of being prepared, because we know that's how that's how people get nuts here when we got 6 and 7 hours, even after a judge.
Well, and I can also add, just talk about the budget, right? I believe the administration had spoken or made a comment to the press that they just didn't have it budgeted, right? So in 2023, just to add some more numbers to you, the expense budget, now remember, there's a municipal election for last year.
Right.
The expense budget was just under $3.5 million. They spent just over $3.2 million. That's for 2023. So this year, their expense budget for 2024, and this is just, Board of Elections, was $3,888,000. So for presidential, they have increased it roughly $400,000 for their expense budget.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. And remember, they also gave their, we have a new director this year. They gave their new director a $30,000 increase in salary.
Well, maybe the director should be doing some better directing out there, Pam. Then that would seem to be where we're going with this. If you see anything,
he was very late. To be honest, he just came on board. So I'm not, finger pointing at him. But again, they've known about this election and, basically didn't, replace the director for many months, right?
Exactly. Thank you. If there's anything else, just let Dan know, and we're always happy to talk with you. Have a good election day. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, that's what I was talking about. I read it somewhere. She had the facts and figures. There's enough resources there. Coming up, Dave McCormick making quite a close on Bob Casey. He's got a big event in Bucks County on Saturday at the NAC. We'll talk with him. We got Dom's Money Melody, and we'll hear from some more people on this and see if Jim Worthington has anything else before we get to 3 o'clock. Phone lines are 855-839-1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The economic uncertainty surrounding this year's election is worse than ever before. But crash-proof consumers rest easy. Their retirement future is election-proof.
I'm Rochelle Porto, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Leading up to the election, we're seeing how bad the economy is and how worried people are. I was looking for a way to secure my investments. That's why I joined Crashproof in 2014. There's no fees, no risk, and growth every year. My principal has never gone down. I've always earned every year. Everything I've earned in that year creates a new principal, so I'm never going to lose what I actually put in. I've got the freedom to live out my dreams, and I've got the peace of mind to know that my retirement's going to go the way I want. No matter what happens on November 5th, 2024, I'm safe. I'm with Crashproof Retirement.
Learn how you can election-proof your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
27 years in politics has changed Bob Casey. He's just not the same anymore. In Washington, Bob Casey voted to let biological men compete against our girls in their sports. And Casey introduced a bill to force hospitals to perform sex change operations against their beliefs. Letting men compete against our daughters? Forcing hospitals to perform sex changes? It's just not normal. But that's how liberal Casey is these days. Casey also voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits, too. Casey even voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Higher taxes on Social Security? Raising drug costs for seniors? Come on, Casey. It's just not right. Bob Casey's gone way too liberal for Pennsylvania. After 27 years, we need a change. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything. Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time, and of course, control of the Senate after the presidency. That's next up here. And it's well within the reach of Republicans, and one of the most anticipated, the most expensive, maybe in history as far as I know, is being waged between Dave McCormick and Bob Casey Jr. And Dave is with us to talk about that. He's got a big event coming to Jim Worthington's house over there at the NAC this Saturday. Well, Dave, welcome in. Thanks very much. I think this will be your last event, Jim said, in our area. Then you head west.
That's right. Hey, Dom, good afternoon. How are you? And thanks for having me. And, listen, we're barnstorming across the state here, across our great Commonwealth. I'm in Clearfield County now, on my way to Bradford County, and I'll have that great event at Jim Worthington's, and then we'll finish up Monday night in Pittsburgh with a rally. President Trump will be there, I think, but we'll have a big rally one way or the other in Pittsburgh, and that'll close out the campaign. And listen, I feel good about it because I think people are zeroed in on the choice. And in my case, it's a choice between the status quo under career politician Bob Casey, a 98% vote for Biden and Harris, versus change in an outsider, a West Point grad, a businessman, and a combat vet. And I think that message of change is resonating.
Oh, just one quick thing, too. That's the NAC, I'm told by Jim, around 4 o'clock there in Bucks County. It starts. You'll be one of the speakers. Byron Donalds will also be there. Dave, before we continue with this closing argument, I wanted to put on your radar screen because we've been in a torrent here the last few days about what's going on in Bucks County, where you'll be. So you know about the court order telling them, essentially, this is a polling place. If people are in line at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you got to serve them. These people in Bucks County, though, Dave, are still making people wait 5.5, 6, 7 hours potentially. In other words, they didn't put on more equipment and more people. They say they're complying. If you want to vote this way, well, then you may be there until 10 o'clock tonight from 8 o'clock in the morning. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, this is, it was really disgraceful that the campaign workers were, and political operatives really were stopping people from being in line. So problem one is they were stopping, and the RNC challenged that in court. My team joined that challenge, and then the court agreed with us and then extended the mail-in ballot deadline through November 1st. But then you have the second problem, which is inadequate resources to process the ballots. And this is, really a major problem, and it's something that we got to hold people to account for. I've heard they're making some progress on that, but it's unacceptable because you can't have indirect voter suppression by essentially not being able to get through the polling places with reasonable time with a reasonable staff. And it's a real issue, and we're sort of playing whack-a-mole here. I think the good news is Frank Ferry and Brian Fitzpatrick and others are jumping on this immediately. Local leaders are jumping on this immediately, and that's making a difference. And I think we're making progress on it, but it's a concern.
Well, it's a concern for me, too, what they might do on Election Day with these tactics. But I want to go back to you versus Casey. And you made this point, and it's a great point, and you don't say it in any immodest way. But we want someone who is not a backbencher. We want someone who's a star because as much as it doesn't seem that way, we live here maybe, but in the big picture, Pennsylvania is a star state. It's in the top 5, 6, or 7 as far as wealth and power and all that. And Casey, in addition to voting with Biden, just has no record that's ever going to push it forward.
We're punching way below our weight. There's no doubt about it. The sixth largest economy. It should be a key part of America's energy dominance strategy because we got the 4th largest natural gas reserves in the world, but because of red tape and bureaucracy and fracking act and a bunch of other things that Bob Casey's proposed, we have not been able to take advantage of our dominant energy position. Bob Casey's not a strong voice. When the bullets start flying, he ducks. So he's both a sure vote for this extreme liberal agenda and not a leader that's going to stand up and solve problems. And by the way, to solve problems, you have to be able to build consensus across party lines and take real leadership, whether it's on energy or the border or China. Bob Casey's not done any of that, and Pennsylvania deserves that. And, somebody said to me the other day, Dom, why are you running for Casey's seat? And I said, no, I'm not running for Casey's seat. He's not entitled.
Yeah.
He's not entitled to this seat. He has to earn this seat every single day, every single election. I'm running for the people's seat. I'm running to represent the people, and they deserve someone who's a real leader who's going to fight for them and make a difference. And what I say on the trail, which I really believe, point to one thing that Bob Casey's done.
Yeah,
show me what he has done, right?
Nothing, Dave, that I can, and I cover it very much. Dave, it's not just the 18 years in the Senate. He's also as Auditor General. He's run for other things. So it's like 30 years of Bob Casey. We get the father's greatness. I think he was the last Democrat that a lot of our listeners potentially could support. But even on the life issue, Casey has strayed away. And you're making a point in your ads that Casey is more Washington now. He's a Washington insider than he is really grassroots here and what's going on in Pennsylvania.
No doubt. Casey went to Washington. He had this famous debate, as you may remember, where he was against Rick Santorum, and he said, listen, anytime you have two politicians, Santorum had voted in lockstep with President Bush about 98% of the time. And Casey said, listen, anytime you have two politicians that vote the same 98% of the time, you don't need one of them. And here we have Bob Casey, who's 99% of the time, 98.6 with Biden. And I think the best way to say it is, listen, Casey went to the Senate to change Washington. Washington changed Bob Casey. And so I'm 100% confident that that's not going to happen to me for the following reasons. Number one, I don't know anybody anything except the people of Pennsylvania. And if I'm honored enough to be elected, I will fight for them every day. Number two, I've term limited myself, Dom. I've said up front I will only do 2 terms. Some people said to me that's a bad idea, and I said, listen, if I can't make a big difference in 2 terms, then I'm not doing my job. And I think this idea of these career politicians who just get burrowed in there, and it's their whole life, and it's all they've ever done, I think it leads to bad governance, bad leadership, and Bob Casey's the worst. He's not only been in the Senate 18 years, he's been in elected office 30 years.
Exactly.
And that, listen, it's just not what our founders had imagined. Our founders imagined that you'd have people that would go out, founders of our great country, in Pennsylvania, to your point about being the most important, or one of the most important states and Commonwealth. But they imagined people would go out and have careers and be doctors and teachers and harness makers and farmers, and then would take a turn at service to their great country. They didn't imagine somebody's going to go there when they were, late 20s and burrow in and spend 30, 40 years in elected office. Bob Casey's asking for 6 more years on top of 30. He hasn't earned the right to have that opportunity, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to earn that right and do a great job for the people of our great Commonwealth.
Absolutely. Well, great event with Jim Worthington. I've been in there many times for those events this Saturday around 4. Where do we go, though, to support Dave McCormick?
Yeah, I'm at DaveMcCormickPA.com, and I'd really appreciate if your listeners go there, Dom. I've laid out a very clear agenda. I don't think there's a Senate campaign in the country that's been more specific about what he will do. And I'm also in the race of my life here, so it's very expensive. So anything people can chip in would be greatly appreciated. But with a little extra help from everybody on this call, telling their friends, putting up yard signs, maybe saying some prayers, we'll get across the finish line November 5th and hopefully make a big difference for our great country.
Thank you, Dave, very much. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, Dave McCormick here. Let me go to Bob and Audubon. There's a couple people hanging in here, too. It's just outrageous what's going on in their lives. Dan's been talking to them just to try to vote. Bob, welcome in. What's going on with you and your wife?
Well, we've lifelong Republicans, moved out here in '69, have voted in every election, even the little ones. So we take it seriously. So my wife had a medical incident at the beginning of July. I applied for a mail-in ballot. Middle of September, I got a notice that had been approved, mailed in 7 days. I don't have it yet.
Wow.
And I called all 3 commissioners. The Republican got back to me, but only after I got his direct line. Got it from a local rep. And she's gone. I mean, she can't walk, so I'll either get her there on a gurney or on a wheelchair. But she's gone, and she's going to vote, whether it's life-threatening or not. So if you want to have some cameras there in Lower Providence, they would be welcome, because I'm going to raise holy hell. Now, I was told the only way I can cure this is to take her down to the election board and get another ballot, but I have to take her, and it's physically impossible.
Yeah, I don't know, Bob, if we can offer anything else. If Linda Kern, someone like that, is listening and they have any kind of solution for you, I got the problem here of what's happened. The system has failed you here. There ought to be a remedy if the person literally could be life-threatening to go. So we'll see.
What they told me,
yes,
if I can get her there, they can give her a provisional ballot, and that'll be held out.
Right.
So they're sure that we didn't submit another ballot.
Right. I hear you, Bob, but you shouldn't have to get her there. That's the whole idea of this system.
Yeah, it's going to cost me $300 for transportation, but that's a small price to pay for liberty.
All right. Well, Bob, leave your number. I'd like to talk with you on Election Day and see how this goes. Would you leave me your number with my producers? And if something comes up, we'll call you of somebody with any other solution to it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
By the way,
yes.
Our vote in our household is being suppressed by 50%, right?
How's that, Bob? Oh, I see what you're
Well,
saying.
two
Sure,
of
your
vote.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah, so 50% of
50%.
people in my household cannot vote.
I'll put you on hold, Bob, and we'll take that, and we'll check back with you on Election Day to see where you are and what point you voted. Matt, these are people that are just understanding the importance of this, true patriots. I don't know in the system what I could do
Is
here.
Audubon Camden County?
No, Audubon is, I want to say toward Norristown.
Oh, we're talking about on PA.
Yeah, it's PA. Yeah, so there's the Audubon. Yeah,
I was in New Jersey. Lou Capelli might be able to help us
no,
there,
the other one. Yeah, that's. I'm trying to think who we know out there. It might be helpful.
What county is that?
I think that's Montgomery County.
Okay, maybe Liz.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, leave me his number too. I want to see what it's like when he goes in on Election Day. All right. I love this answer, and we have Dom's Money Melody on your way in a second here from Chris. This is an all-timer. I don't know if the judges will agree. Something Scandinavian, Chris. What do you say?
Well, I'm glad I got in because I feel this is a real Joe from Exton type answer.
Yes, it is. It's Joe from Exton's going to be mad when he hears this.
Let's make it really feel like Joe's calling.
Here you go. Here you go.
So I'm going to do a Joe from Exton answer here. Now, Dom, in 1945, a Norwegian man was led from his cell, tied to a post, blindfolded, and executed by firing squad. Now, no one remembers his first name, but his last name, Quisling, will grace history with the traitor that he was.
Yep, exactly right.
Quisling.
Yeah, Quisling.
Bravo.
Did you know that word, Dan? Have you ever heard that?
No, I didn't know that, and I got to give him a really good credit.
It is, and there's a lot to it, how important Norway was and what this guy did, Chris. The traitorous stuff of the Nazis, he had real power there, and that's where the various water, nuclear or otherwise, that's just what they're going after.
And Donald Trump is going to get rid of the Quislings.
All right, well... Chris, I will throw that Quisling in tomorrow in front of these Scandinavians. I'm hoping to get sound of that, of what they say. Imagine it's 24 of them, Chris, on a rooftop deck that I'll be addressing tomorrow about the importance of this election. Is this a great job or what? There you go.
Go, Dom.
Thank you, Chris.
I like to underline, too, what Chris just did there. I mean, can't really replicate the guy in Joe, but the idea of the depth of the side question that Joe brings on a daily basis. If he's inspiring people like Chris to give answers like that, thank you again, Joe.
So
man.
Joe might have a rival. I don't know how. We've met him. I don't know how you can come close to rivaling him, though. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This man has a unique brand, too, Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys. Crazy day today, so I'll be very quick. You're absolutely right on inflation. All it will take is spending caps, which I think Mike Johnson can do, and economic growth, which I know Trump can do, and it'll be fixed in about 2 years. But I'll get right to my side answer. I am going to go with fjords, mainly because my lunatic daughter was crazy enough to jump into one when she was in Norway last year. 49 degrees. She was out of her mind.
Wow. Yeah, and there's a lot of fjords there, Robert. Tremendous
it's
amount.
Beautiful.
So can you picture Robert?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you've met us. Can you imagine greeting these a billionaire and other millionaires from Scandinavia tomorrow?
I think it'll be a new experience for you, Dom, and I think that you will alter their view of the American culture.
Oh, boy.
I really do.
All right, I'll give it my best.
They're probably coming, with visions of quote-unquote right-wingers, and they're going to see that, we're good, regular people just like them, I think it'll be a good thing.
So
have some fun with it, all right?
So that means I shouldn't wear the South Philly chain then?
No. Wear it. Be American. Be you. You know what I'm saying? It'll sell, Dom, I promise you. But you guys have a great weekend, all right?
All right. Full report on Monday on that. Can hardly wait. We'll take a lot of photos, too. What's the name? Robin of Save the Whales. Well, Protect Our Shores is my guide. One more. Let's go to, who is it here? Joe. Is it Joe in Bordentown on Talk Radio 1210? Is that the one? Yeah. Okay, Joe. Good afternoon, Joe. Who do you have?
Well, first, I have another ruble joke for you.
Okay.
What does Putin call 50 cents?
What does Putin call 50 cents, Joe?
50 million euros.
It's going to be heavy in South Philly, Joe, on Monday night. I can tell. I'll let you know, Hallie, if they approve of your jokes. I don't have your timing with the Putin stuff, but I'm going to try. And Joe, who's your Scandinavian?
Ingmar Bergman.
Absolutely.
The director.
Oh, the director you're going with, not the wife.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Seventh Seal.
That's a real. Oh, Henry, a little bit of knowledge there. Yeah, that's a great one, Joe. Yeah, I thought he was going with the star Casablanca. That's the love interest. Seventh Seal, Henry. I don't even know if I know that film that much. So most Scandinavian films are a little bit off to me, cold kind of, just depressing.
Yeah,
it seems pretty depressing. Yeah, they have that style. Yeah. I'm going to give these guys the good stuff, though. I might say the fjords, but I'm going to say health, technology. I'm getting to a point here. So
Such a great word to yell.
Yeah. 855-839-1210. You get on board. But right now,
it's Dom.
That's right. No matter what.
Melody.
Dom's Money Melody here with Dan. All right. Today we're playing again for a digital download of the Reagan movie. From small town beginnings to Hollywood and the world stage, Reagan is a story of overcoming the odds. Starring Dennis Quaid, Reagan is available now anywhere you watch movies and will be available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital November 19th. Dan, what's the backstory?
Yeah, Don, I'm going to take you out to Denmark today. We're talking Scandinavian people things. A 9-year-old, Dom, back in 1973, his father was going to go to a Deep Purple concert in Copenhagen. And one of his friends dropped. He had a bunch of tickets, so he decided to take his 9-year-old son. That son was so mesmerized by that rock performance, it completely changed his life, led him down the path to becoming a founding member of one of the greatest or highest-selling commercial bands of all time, Dom. And one of the greatest rock bands, if you ask certain people. A lot of people are favorite of them. And, Dom, at one time, I think you interviewed this band. But I want to know the name of the musician, Dom. I want to know the name of the musician that co-founded this band. Don't want to say the name of the band because it might be too obvious. We want to know the name of the musician, the co-founder of this band that hails from Denmark. Take a listen.
Here I am on the road again. There I am upon the stage. There I go, then start again.
If you know the voice, you know the voice. That's not the person we're looking for.
I don't know
We're
if
looking for
that's
another member of the band.
Okay, I don't know which one. They all had ski hats on and stuff like that, and I may have had a suit on.
I think you interviewed the lead singer. So
yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was quite me standing there with these guys. It was nuts. What an assignment. All right.
So we're looking for the co-founding member that hailed from Denmark, Dom, of this band.
Hit us with that, and we got the Reagan movie off to you. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today.
Call 800-291-1305. That's 800-291-1305. 800-291-1305.
The
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
New Jersey, this is Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, or early in person starting Saturday, October 26th, or vote by mail. Details at vote.nj.gov.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. As the store's owner, I want our clients treated with respect. I want our employees to have extensive product knowledge and be genuinely engaged with our clients. Our pricing is competitive, but our client attention is second to none. When considering a new car, consider Cherry Hill Volvo. Contact me directly. Relationships really do matter to us.
The 2024 presidential election is here. With the race neck and neck and with so much at stake, MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis you need. Our reporters are on the ground, and we're breaking down the numbers until every last vote is counted, providing you with insight on what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2024 presidential election, Tuesday, November 5th, and listen to MSNBC Live on the free Odyssey app or wherever you watch MSNBC.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. All right, let's hear the sound, and we're looking for the name of the musician, not the band here.
There I go. Then start again. There I go. Turn the page.
All right, let's try Drew in Bluebell. Drew's in on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Drew, what's the name of the musician?
Hi, guys. Happy Friday. I'm going to go with Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
All right. Always have to have a Lars. Nice job there, Drew. Enjoy the Reagan film. I'm not sure if it was him or one of the others. But they were there.
It was Hetfield that you interviewed.
Yeah, they were there at it seems like we were inside the Spectrum. They were going to play in the parking lot. And literally, I was a football field away. And the sound was brutal. And these people that went within 10 yards of it, just idiots. I mean, it was literally.
Henry, he told them to turn it down.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Right. Yeah, no.
Turn Metallica to turn it down?
No, I don't know what I asked him the question. I was delving into the...
But reading between the lines, the question was, can you turn it down?
Yeah, exactly. Bit, you know? People are saying here in South Philly, they're not happy. These guys lucky they got out of their lives.
Ears bleeding now, guys. You know?
Yeah, it's dangerous. It really is. You're not surviving. I don't know if they're the loudest or there's anybody else louder.
If I was sitting that close to Metallica concert, I'd go in knowing my hearing's going to be irreparably damaged. I'm probably going to bleed out the ears, but that's what I want from sitting that close.
Well, those people can do it. The problem was the level around that area. They were told. Now, maybe it was a scare story, but it was actually wall to wall. They had police there and everything else because of it. Yeah. So one time I've interviewed a rock star. Well, I didn't interview him. I got one question in. Boy, I wish I had that scene. Somebody filming it. My God. It was nuts. All right, so
I was there to see it.
Yeah, 855-839-1210. Here's Bill Weir. He does the climate beat for CNN. And listen to what he says about if you vote for President Trump, you're rolling the dice and what may happen.
What about this on CNN.com? Going back through presidential election history, it's hard to find a more consequential and divisive choice right now. Imagine if Abraham Lincoln had lost in the 1860s, or if Reagan had ignored the generals about the Soviet Union. The American experiment might have ended, but life on Earth may not have noticed. But right now, scientists at every level are telling us this is a time test, and you've got one candidate who accepts that challenge, and another one who talks about it like this.
All right. I don't know what Trump said there that got him. Is that cut off? Okay.
You can have it. Here
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, okay.
People, I don't know if they're for real, but if they're not, they're covered by the words climate change. If it gets cooler, that's good. If it gets hotter, that's good. We have countries that have tremendous nuclear power. And when I hear these people talking about global warming, that's the global warming you have to worry about. Not that the ocean's going to rise in 400 years, 1/8 of an inch, and you'll have more seafront property, right, if that happens. I said, is that good or bad? I said, isn't that a good thing?
LNG is being sought after all over Europe and all over the world, and we have more of it than anybody else. And I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
All right. So the point about the more seaside property, I could see Bill Weir getting nuts with that. Okay. But that this is the consequence, doom, if you go for Trump at the 11th hour here, weighing in. What more can be put upon him if Trump wins? What's going to happen? Okay, we haven't heard back from Jim Worthington out there in Levittown because, sorry, Dan. Okay, gotcha. Because the voting situation out there is ridiculous again. We haven't heard if a judge is going to intervene, do anything. You have people waiting. By the way, a few people, I ignored it because it's said online. I know that's a temptation. We all know, though, you're not online, you're in line, right? I don't know how you would be online. Why New Yorkers say that. You're in a line, meaning inside a line, right? Let's go to Marie in Feasterville on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Marie, good afternoon. Go right ahead.
Hi, Dom. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Marie.
Okay, so my mom is dying of cancer, and she is blind. So she lives in Cape May County. I got her a mail-in vote. I took the vote to the Cape May County courthouse, and they told me that her signature does not match from her license, and she only has a license for identification only because she can't drive because she's blind.
Right.
And they said they will not accept her ballot because her signature doesn't match. My mom can't even hold a pen in her hand and can't see to write on the line. So I did the best I could to sign for her, and they said her signature doesn't count. And I said, is that because she's voting for Trump? They didn't answer.
Well,
so that's,
yeah, I hear you, Marie, and it seems to me that there's got to be something. There's got to be Americans with Disabilities Act, something like that, where it's taken into account. I don't know what to advise you to do. It seems pretty clear to me that that's the case.
Well, I'm going to have to probably take her in a wheelchair. She can't stand up to the voting and kind of push her in. She can't. My dad always went in with her because she can't see. They allowed that. So I'm probably going to have to do that on Tuesday. I don't like to take her out only outside since it's been so nice out for a walk in a wheelchair, but not to take her into a crowded building and have her wait in line. Who knows how long that's going to be. She can't do that. She sleeps 20 out of 24 hours a day. God. So it's just like I heard Jim Worthington. I love Jim Worthington. I know him well. 6 hours in Levittown. I live in Bucks County. I had to do a mail-in vote. I did just get it back 10 days later saying they received it, and it counts. But I'm staying with my parents to help them out because of my mom's cancer. It's just ridiculous, the stuff that's going on, and they're getting away with it.
I hear you, Marie. Well, Marie, if we think of anything to offer you at this point, I don't know what it could be, but thank you. Thanks for telling us about that. We're in agreement. What's going on over in Levittown right now, or your story, is something that is ridiculous. There has to be ways.
My mom.
Yeah.
That's not my mom's signature. I said, well, she can't even hold a pen in her hand.
Yeah.
I'm helpless inside. And they said, sorry, we can't accept it.
All right, Marie.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Thank you, Marie. Thanks so much. I wish I had a magic wand to do something with that. But just think of what is the connection to those stories. Carr from Audubon and then Marie from Feasterville. Two people in difficult situations, to put it mildly, and still want to vote, still want to be part of this. The energy, the patriotism, all of that. That's what's at stake. I don't have to tell you. I mean, anybody who chooses not to vote in this at this point in time, I don't know how I could ever even talk to them. I wouldn't even try to convince. I mean, what are you going to do? All right. So I'm not sure if anything has been relieved. Dan, you might want to text him and just ask, is anything different over in Levittown so that we can know before we get out of here. But we'll have full election night coverage. Nick Hale, Dawn, I'll be here, Matt Rooney, Mike Opelka. We think Jimmy Fallon will be part of it. It's going to be quite a night. We're not going to know that night, but at least we'll be sharing what we do know together. And then, I don't even know, by Wednesday, by Thursday, we might have relief from this. But the system in Bucks County, you heard the controller, is just ridiculous. All right, we're going to talk next to, nobody next, you. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. Hey, the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's parties, hosting the family, going to work and family events. Just stop into your nearest Captain Chucky's. Pick up the Smith Island Crab Cake Jumbo Lump. Don't forget the Mega Colossal Crab Cakes. They are delicious. Time to stock up. Check out the variety of homemade soups as we get a little bit chillier. Perfect time to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings, homemade sides, desserts, trays for football viewing. Captain Chucky's always has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Literally, a crab cake for everybody, as well as dessert, soup, sides, appetizers. Their Gulf shrimp is a huge hit. It's always wild-caught, never farm-raised. And don't forget my favorite, those Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. One website you have to remember, WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore. Visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com. Jim Worthington will be next to give us a report from Levittown and Bucks County. What else has happened? And we'll get a winner on the side question for this week on Talk Radio 1210.
One more day in the 80s. We might hit a record 84 today, though we will see some breezy conditions and an occasional shower. Now, for the weekend, we get mostly seasonal. Sunny, 64 on Saturday, 60 and sunny on Sunday. Good Eagles weather.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free.
They all look just the same. All right, Dom Giordano's show. Side question going, seeing the Scandinavian tour of 24 people tomorrow. You know you want to hear that on Monday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks to Robin Schaefer. And you. That's why they come and talk with me. Jim Worthington. It's amazing this guy has such a successful business. He's everywhere. He was out there in Levittown, and he gave us a report. Let's go back to the scene of the crime. Hey, Jim, welcome back in. What's going on?
Well, a lot of nothing. I mean, the line is moving at a snail's pace. It's literally, it was wrapped around the building. Now it's wrapped even further around the building. They haven't brought in any more people to help. You've got a ton of media here now. It's a big story. And the people are just sitting in chairs in the blazing sun. You know, it's not warm, it's not cold out here. It's like 80 degrees, and it's just not a good situation. So, you know, people are frustrated, but I honestly, there have been a number of people that leave, but nowhere near what you would think when people are told it's going to be now 6 hours. 6 hours.
So, Jim, no relief from anybody you've talked with. You're hooked in as best as anybody can be in the country, maybe, of what's going on here.
Oh, there's people working on it around the clock right now. Everybody that needs to know, from the top people of the Trump administration to the state party, they're aware. In fact, I'm hearing, I know he's on his way, a friend of mine, Kash Patel, is coming down with former Senate candidate Jeff Bartos. We've got people coming to see it for themselves. We have McCormick representatives. These people have been disenfranchised. And it is just amazing that they, and by the way, everybody in the county knows there's a problem down here. You'd think that they call in additional troops. Nothing has been done to enhance the amount of service down here. It's just being neglected. It's flat out crazy.
They are emboldened, Jim. They're emboldened and continue to slow walk this. And I agree with you. The judge ought to take this personally, go over there himself, and demand that they put him in or there's going to be action on them. But I think hopefully the judge in the end is going to say, you got to open up on the weekend now. You want to keep on playing this game. It's ridiculous. It is firing people up. You made that point before, though. They're not going to forget this. They're going to tell everybody in the world, you got to vote this Tuesday, if not today.
Well, I will tell you, you nailed it. What I requested, and I told Congressman Fitzpatrick, who helped champion the start of this on Sunday through my call to him and the state reps here in Bucks County area, we need to ask the judge Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and also make sure that he puts in the fine print not only to open, but to staff it properly. I mean, this is a business that would last a day and be out of business. It's just, I don't know if these people realize that, you know, the people here in line are customers of the county. They pay money to be represented and provide a good service. This is ridiculous, and I honestly believe that they gave the middle finger to the judge. They upheld his order, but didn't do the fine print needed to provide the service. It's a disgrace.
Absolutely. Jim, nice work, though. Just text me. Let me know what else happens here, and we're ready to roll. Great event coming up your way, though, at the NAC out there. Well, one of your buildings with Dave McCormick. Yeah. Maybe 1,000 people out there. His last rally in the East. Got to get McCormick over the finish line, too.
McCormick and Byron Donalds is going to be with him. In fact, he may be coming down here to Levittown, I'm hearing. So at 4:30 tomorrow, Byron Donalds to 6:30. It's a short event. Unbelievable future of the Republican Party. And I may have a breaking news for you on a Monday night event. I'm waiting to hear. There's some people at my facility now checking it out, and I'll let you know if that happens.
Text me right away. We'll be over there on Monday night. Yeah.
It'll be a big one.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, Tom.
I don't doubt it. Thank you, Jim. Take care. All right, there you are. Scene of the action. They're on it. Come on, Judge. You know, these people going to relent? No, they're playing with it. We heard the controller say they have the money. There's no doubt. All right, let's go to John. Let's go to Joe in Westchester. All right, Joe, give me something Scandinavian. What do you have?
Oh, well, I wanted to get in early, and all I could think of is Anita Ekberg from born in.
Yeah, that's quite a package. Ursula Andress, Anita Ekberg, all worthy. You know, that whole scene of blondes, usually from Sweden, I believe, were in there. We had IKEA already. Oh, John in Philly. John, what's yours today? What's the Scandinavian to you?
It's got to be the great band ABBA, Dom.
Yeah, great band.
Great band. Why then, John? There, that's one song I know. Yeah.
When that song comes on, you guys just start dancing.
Oh, do you, John?
That's true.
I don't.
Okay.
I love ABBA.
Come on.
All right, John, we'll put you down.
Dom,
don't let them say it. Yes.
Hey, Dom, I'm a local 30 union roofer, 33 years in, and I just want to say, to all the union guys out there, vote for Trump.
you can't be a union city like we are, supposedly, and be a sanctuary city. It doesn't make any sense.
No, and you know what, Joe? That is, John, I made that point all the time from Johnny Doc 20 years ago till now. They agree with me, then they allow it. How can you be a union city and go along and letting them undercut workers?
Dom, it's ridiculous. Our competition is fierce. It's one of the worst years we've had this year. It's just, back in the day, John McCullough, if he was still running the hall, he would have never allowed it. It's just outrageous. And so all you union guys out there to think that Kamala is going to help you out, vote for Trump, okay? So, Dom, thanks a lot, buddy. Have a good one.
I have a new bucket list item for you, John, for me at least.
Yes.
Seeing this 30-year union roofer dance to Dancing Queen by
Yeah, well, hey, guys, when you have a local 30 roofer father who, used to come home drunk all the time, you're raised by your mom, so I heard a lot of 70s music. A lot of
Eurovision.
I hear you, John. Oh, my God. Too much to hear there, but okay. All right, coming up, it is the lightning round. We'll get a winner for this week. We'll see if we have any other updates. I'll tell you on Monday, though, we're going to have Robert K. Haley on. He was under the weather today. His final poll in Pennsylvania. They're the people that called it right, one of the few in 2016, 2020. And the battleground states, how are they looking? What I see, though, is ferocious support here in our suburbs for Trump. I mean, just think about the people going there to vote. They hate the mail-in ballot. Now they're going to shove it down their throat, and rightfully so. And they bought in. They get why we have to do it. The number I was given today, a couple people hit me with this. They guesstimate that Democrats may go into Election Day with about a 500,000 vote lead when all is said and done. If that's the case, Guy Shiraki and a bunch of other people I rely on, we're going to beat them. Last time it was 1.1 million. So people are doing their job. They're out there. It is fairly warm. 5 or 6 hours because they want to bank that vote, and they want people to be inspired knowing into Election Day how doable this is. Then on Election Day, we know there are people who are going to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get in line and to vote and to register that. We'll be here throughout all of it. All right, let's talk about FanDuel one more time. Every Friday night, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving all customers a bigger payout on select NBA first bets. First bets let you get in on the action from the opening tip. You can bet on things like who'll score the first basket, which team will be the first to 15 points, and a lot more. Best of all, you don't have to wait the whole game to see if you won. Just look for Friday First in the FanDuel app to find your profit boost. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom to claim your Friday First profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, write this number down or put it into your phone. 800-211-4413. The IRS is hiring more staff and cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to learn about our tax debt reduction programs and how to stop the collection efforts. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or years of unpaid taxes, even if you're already in a payment plan, we can help. Through special IRS programs, you may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a fraction of what you owe. Tax Relief Helpers has helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. No matter what amount you or your business owe to the IRS, call our tax relief hotline now for a free consultation and see what savings you may qualify for. Don't tackle the IRS on your own, and don't risk having your wages, Social Security, even your pension seized. Call now. Call 800-211-4413. That's 800-211-4413. 800-211-4413.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
California Psychics is America's most trusted psychic network. But don't take it from us. Take it from our customers.
You know, it was probably the best psychic reading I've ever had.
Thank you, California Psychics. You changed my opinion about getting a reading over the phone.
It was definitely worth it, and I would do it again in a second.
That's because at California Psychics, we only connect you with the best. In fact, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us. So we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20.
I've never had a phone call make me so excited for the future.
So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get $5 off with code RADIO5 when you download the app.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
And the lightning round is sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo, where they have ample inventory of brand new and beautiful pre-owned Volvos. Enjoy the luxury experience you deserve. They always go the extra mile for their customers, because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Something Scandinavian with Bill in Bucks County. Hey, Bill, what's yours today?
Well, I got a rock group that was very popular 50 years ago. Their name was Blue Swede, and one of their songs, which was a hit on Billboard, was a remake of B.J. Thomas's Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
And it began by Ooga Chaka, Ooga Chaka, Ooga Chaka.
Very good one. I love this one. I'm going to make sure I get Drew's answer. That's a good one, though. I love the story of what happened here. And Drew is an historian. Even to Mulligan's, he brings encyclopedias with him. Drew, what's yours?
Hey, Dom, thanks for all that. Appreciate it. You know, Dom, back during World War II, this country of probably less than 10 million people, they decisively defeated the mighty Russian army. And the country was Finland, and the battle was fought with skis and rifles in the mountains. And it wasn't really ever done before. But the Finns really taught the Russians a lesson with their skis and rifles.
Yeah, and they white clothing, they blended in, they knew the countryside. It is shocking that Finland fought them and that the Russians left. Good one, Drew. The Earl of Tacony. Earl, what's yours?
I'm going to try really hard today. My answer is runes.
R-U-N-E-S. It's the ancient alphabet of the Germanic and Scandinavian languages. In fact, you have a rune on your phone right now. The Bluetooth logo is a combination of the letter H and B for King Harald Bluetooth, who conquered Denmark and Norway and converted the Danes to Christianity.
Very nice.
My mouth has just left agape at the stuff that he comes up with.
I know. It is stunning. And nobody called in, but I was going to say, what about Danish? I've been teasing at the whole show about the pastry.
And I didn't say mine. I was hoping for the Swedish chef. Hurdy-durdy-burdy-gurdy.
Exactly. All right. Joe and Exton to round this off here. Joe, good afternoon. You have imitators there. What do you have today?
Yes. Hello, Dom. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The recent caller who mimicked Joe Exton was perfect. Intellectuals of a feather flock together.
Let's come up with these. All right. Love it.
And for my Scandinavian case, the Finnish composer Jean Sibelius composed a piece of music entitled Finlandia, which became the national anthem of Finland.
Great stuff, Joe. Thank you.
Not Joe Sibilia.
Not Joe. No, it was Sibelius. I was wondering where that came from. All right, Henry, who are your contenders today?
Yeah, I think Chris and Malvern's got to be in there for the Joe Exton impersonation and the answer of Quisling with a little history lesson. I'm also a sucker for ABBA, so I got to throw John Philip.
Yes, there was some other weird thing. Who was his crush?
Quisling, I like skis and
the final winner.
Yeah, Don Monday, we asked for a sequel or a new edition that was better than the one prior. Bill and Bucks called it with Fleetwood Mac when Buckingham and Stevie Nicks joined. Famous Immigrants, Jim in Boyertown called in with Boscoff, the father Boscoff. 10:30, greatest show today. Joan in Blackwood called in with Elvis, and they just heard it. What's something that reminds you of something Scandinavian? Chris and Malvern with Quisling. Dom, throw them all into the hat. Where's my drum roll? Here's my drum roll. Number 2, that's Tuesday's Famous Immigrants, Jim in Boyertown with Boscoff.
All right, that's the Trump book, right? Letters to Trump.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so great prize, a great week here, and we continue. We'll see what happens in Bucks County. I'll let you know on Twitter when Jim gets to me. He's got a couple of other developments. It might be a big rally on Monday night.
Just to be clear, Dom?
Yes.
Saul Boscoff was the answer before people start calling and say Albert Boscoff wasn't an immigrant. We're talking his father, Saul, the original founder. Yeah.
Gotcha. And, of course, tomorrow, 24-member delegation from Scandinavia coming to Philadelphia. I'll ask them.
You should start your speech with hurdy-durdy-gurdy-burdy.
I'll ask them what they've heard of Larry Krasner, and I'll bring you their response on Monday. It seems kind of Scandinavian. What do they think of Elon Musk? I got a lot of questions. You can send me questions there on Twitter at DomShow1210. Great job by Henry. Jim helping out in various ways, and Dan this week. It has been fabulous as we count down. Don't forget election night. We'll be here. All right, you can tell it's a Friday. Riccioli to the rescue to take us home. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. All good things must end. Dan, any parting Swedish? All right, there you go. All right, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about